Every stylish guy knows what takes an outfit from good to great is the attention to detail. And nothing completes a look like the right belt. You know what ruins a great outfit fast? A worn out belt that doesn't fit right. Most guys are still rocking belts with stretched out holes that either pinch your waist or sag and throw off the whole look. That's why I'm excited to partner with today's sponsor, Anson Belt and Buckle. This family-run company has been around since 2009 and they've completely reimagined how belts should work. Instead of holes, Anson Belt uses a micro-adjustable track system with quarter-inch increments. That means you get the perfect fit every single time. And once you feel that kind of comfort and precision, you'll never want to wear a traditional belt again. The best part, you can mix and match every buckle with any strap. One box set gives you 9 different belt combos, so you'll get to maximize versatility with way less clutter in your closet. But this isn't just about style, it's about feeling more comfortable, more confident, and more put together every time you get dressed. Anson Belt moves with you, so whether you're sitting, standing, or on the go, you're always comfortable and always looking sharp. I've been wearing mine nonstop, and honestly, it's the best belt I've ever owned. Once you try it, you will see exactly what I mean. You won't go back. And here's why you can trust them. They're still proudly family owned. They've earned over 40,000 5-star reviews, and every belt is backed by a lifetime guarantee on functionality. They stand behind every product they make, and once you try one, you'll understand why. And because Anson Belt and Buckle is sponsoring today's video, when you click the link in the description or scan this QR code to build a box set, you'll get 2 bonus pieces, a buckle and a strap completely free. That's 3 buckles and 3 straps, which you can mix and match into 9 unique belt combos all in one box. It's an exclusive deal you won't get anywhere else, so click the link, build your set, and upgrade your belt game today. Let's go down. What's going on, family? How y'all doing? Let me go ahead and introduce the crew. We got Mr. M. White, Trev Smooth, Willie, there's the poet, Hink, Michelle X, myself, and PJR. Welcome to Key Talk. What's going on, gentlemen? What's going on? How y'all doing? I said, how y'all doing? Y'all good? Can y'all hear me?
Smooth.
I can't complain.
Yeah. We
Okay.
straight.
Dang, I got the itis or something, huh? Everybody slow to speak. Good to see you guys, man. Excellent show here for you guys. I'm actually looking forward to hearing you guys' perspectives on this. Let's see who we got in the chat. Right Dance with Julie. How you doing? Will is in the house. Paul Bear is in the building, as he say. Dory G, Dub Will, Mrs. Hink, Bishop Mama G, Construct Icon again. Construct Icon is the one constructed these wood pieces that you see hanging up on the wall. I got a TLE, so if you guys need that, make sure y'all follow him on IG and check it out. What's going on, Mission Fit, brother? You guys come in, hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you are catching this on a replay, hit that like button and also make sure you subscribe as well. Fizz, you there? You good? In White? I guess that be that. I don't want to play the clip, man. Anything special today, fellas? I'll try to stall a little bit till they come on cam. Anything special going on? Any big plans this weekend?
Nope. Man, forgot it was a weekend. It's too early to talk about the weekend.
It's not too early, man. I always got something to look forward to. I always got to look ahead. So today's discussion, man, I'm going to be playing some clips. The only thing that I ask is let's not attack the person that's actually saying it, but I actually want to see if we can get somewhere with the dialogue. So who's ever is speaking, let's try to address what they're saying. You can relate it to everyday life. Maybe you know somebody that's like that, but let's see if we can really give the people a great show at actually giving them some insight on our perspectives as far as how we're looking at the situation. So today's topic, I see Trav smiling already, is the
It's easy to
average.
detect the person. I got you. You
Yeah,
got to
it
make a
is. It
conscious
is. It
effort.
is. Yeah. We'll go down a tunnel vision and, look at her, start doing all that. I just really want to address what they're saying. So if I do redirect the conversation, then you know why. I'm going to make sure that I am top of it today. Sometimes I slip and I see the chat say, can we get back on chat? On topic. You kind of threw me off with that pause, man. I try to think about what I was actually saying. But anyhow, so let's go ahead and do this. Viz and White, you guys are there? Going once, going twice.
They
I'm gonna
fell
go ahead.
asleep.
It is what it is. I'm gonna go ahead and start running this clip and then we'll get to it.
Ooh, how I know
Got to
that's
go
what?
back out and come back in again, man, because it's doing that. So give me 1 second, fellas.
I don't know why I thought you was gonna hit this clip today.
What did you say, Trev? You thought I was gonna do what?
I said I don't know why I thought you was gonna hit this clip today. This
Oh,
joke came across my timeline. I was like, damn.
yeah. I like to go grab all of it. I gotta be careful what I'm saying. I'm trying to on your ass, y'all. She's saying the pause moment, but here we go.
I'm gonna say that I feel like too that, and this is just my personal opinion. I think that when that there's like this whole like separation of just well, not even a separation, just like this blended thing that we're doing now, where we talk about like, oh well, you don't have those things. What can you bring to the table? You're not even somebody who aesthetically could pull that type of guy or whatever the case may be. And I feel like myself personally, I feel like we're getting away from what men are innately here to do and what women are innately here to do and our superpowers, right? I feel like we need to get a little bit more back to the whole barbershop culture, like a little more grit. All these men are influencers. It's a whole bunch of personality going on. And I feel like that even myself personally, when I'm dating somebody or I'm seeking a partner, right? I do want to look for somebody that's resourceful, even if I don't have it myself. I'm looking up. And I feel like it's my natural birthright to have somebody in a male to come in and show. It don't make me a gold digger. It don't make me a scavenger looking for, coins on the ground. I feel like when I think about my partner, I'm like, wow, do you code? Are you a website builder? Can you help me with it? I'm always looking up, and I feel like that there is a space for women who may not necessarily bring those things to the table, but are also looking for a resource or to attach for somebody to build them up. And it's like being shamed and looked down upon. And it's like, I think that men look for those similar things in women, but it's not financial. It's the same thing.
Can we answer this one question real quick? Is it fair to shame a woman for having a more than average financial standard for a man?
I don't think anybody should ever be shamed for anything that they desire. Now, is it realistic? Is it healthy? No. And so to say I would never call you a gold digger for what you desire and what I feel like you deserve. I feel like when the conversations are happening, it is solely about, not you, I'm just speaking in general. It's just solely about money. And it puts money so much on a pedestal that instantly, if a man doesn't reach that standard, he's instantly devalued and he's taken out of the system. Whereas the conversations aren't equally about how this man has helped me evolve.
Exactly.
It's always about what it's always about what he can give me, what he can help me with, how he can give me more money, how he can help me establish. That's why I say that it's a lot of insatiable energy and it's a lot of gluttony, whereas you aren't acknowledging in these conversations. It's not that that's not something that you desire or want, but in the conversation, it doesn't also say, but this man has integrity.
Yeah.
This man takes accountability. This man knows how to take care of me, nurture me. This man is present. Yeah. So when these conversations, so when these conversations happen and it's only spoken about money, when the women who are looking up to us and they only hear us speak about money, that's the only thing they attach themselves to and not the other things that matter.
I'm gonna stop it there and then we'll continue some more, man. But One of the things she spoke about at the end, as far as the message that we are putting out there, and a lot of times, what I find funny on the panels is that some people speak to their personal experience, and then we have people that want to speak to the majority, and they say that a lot of people are not the majority. So when we put these messages out here, sometimes that message could be toxic, depending on what it is. But they talked about, should we shame women for having desires, and how some women seem to focus, or a lot of women seem to focus on money when it comes to men having money in relationships. So I'm going to open it up to the panel. What are you guys' thoughts as far as what was just said there? And again, just attack what it is that they said, and not necessarily the person. Anybody can go first. Go ahead, Trev.
Now, I don't believe that we should end up shaming women for what it is that they want, um, as long as they won't shame us for what it is that we expect in return, right? So there are women who want to be taken care of financially, and ideally, that's what every woman wants. I would say that's on the top of most women's list, if it's not one of their top two, three, or just their primary focus, because what that man brings to the table financially is going to determine what type of life they're going to have. It's going to determine how safe their neighborhood is. It's going to determine how well their children are taken care of. It's going to determine what kind of car they drive, how big their house is, what type of vacations they're able to have, and just a completely different lifestyle. So if we want to act like fools as men and think that a great portion of women are not concerned about this, then go ahead. But honestly, that's what they want. Whether they can realistically obtain it or not is an entirely different story, because there's not many of us who can provide the lifestyle that most women want. So you have to realize a man that can do that is exceptional. With this, we have to wonder what it is about you as a female that is exceptional. If you have something that a good portion of men appreciate, then you have a better likelihood of obtaining that. Most women don't. Most men are average. Most women are average. So if you're chasing that, then you just gonna have to understand it's like a needle in a haystack. It's not very easy to try to find that man. And if you do, how likely is he going to be monogamous with you when every other woman is knocking his door down? So shaming, no. Do I try to give women a reality check? Yes. Do I let them know how unrealistic it is sometimes with their expectations? Yes. If you choose to go on that path, then that's fine.
All right. Go ahead, Chels. I'm going to go to you next.
Yeah, the only thing that I really had pushback on was when the young lady said she had a birthright to basically a man with resources. That at first I didn't really understand where she was going, but when she said birthright, I'm like, hold up, well, let's flip that a little bit. What are my birthrights, right? So, but other than that, the second young lady, I thought she was eloquent. I thought she spoke with like really solid common sense, and I pretty much agreed with it. And I agree with Trev too, that I don't shame anybody for shooting for the stars and whatever it is that they want. But if we're gonna have a conversation about it, if you're gonna have a conversation with me, we're gonna be realistic about the chances of you actually attaining it. You can find a needle in a haystack, but the question is, are you willing to search for that needle long enough to be able to find it?
All right, go ahead, Viz.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of on the fence as far as with shaming people for that. I think that there are some things that deserves to be shamed. I think the way that you go about professing whatever your desires, wants are, I think that is the variable for me as far as with if I'm gonna shame you or not, or if I'm gonna look at you a certain type of way, because you can do it in a respectful way. Uh, every person on the planet is going to be on one side of the spectrum of whatever the discussion is, right? All us six fellas on the panel, there's going to be something that we disagree about, and you know what? I'm not losing no sleep over it. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. You know what I'm saying? I can respect that. Now, if you go about it in a way of where you're nasty in the approach of whatever it is that you're sharing, then hell yeah, you deserve to be shamed at that point. But yeah, we all have standards. We all have desires. We all have wants. So whatever that want and desire may be, by all means, you got this one life. If that's what you want to go for it. If you get it, congratulations. If you don't get it, that's part of life and the decision that you make. So I think if in that, from a woman's perspective, if the only thing that you're looking for is money, the money don't mean shit, because you can find a nigga that's making 7 figures, but he beating your ass every day. He burning you every other month. So it's other things that come in place with that. So I think if when that conversation is solely isolated on that, then it's a problem, because all of the other things that play the bigger role in it.
All right, go ahead, White.
Once again, I appreciate women like this. When they tell you their expectations, their wants, and their desires, listen to them. If you're not in the path, or you desire to get at to somebody, then avoid them. They save you time, space, resources, attention, affection, anything that you might have poured into this woman, to find out later on that you didn't meet up to the standard, or that you were required to do X, Y, and Z to keep her. She just saved you a whole lot of stress and headaches. Like I preferred it. I prefer somebody to get me all the things that's gonna turn me off or send me away before I even getting to know them. Like, oh, that's what you want? Bet we could be cool. I don't got no smoke for you, really. Like, as a matter of fact, I hope you get it. If you do, I'll clap for you. Am I gonna give it to you? No. Like, nah, I'm not doing it. So I don't even concern myself with thinking about, well, she needs to. Ain't my problem. Whoever date her, that's their problem. That shit got nothing to do with me. And if I see somebody doing it, hopefully they doing it happily where they can survive. Because that John Henry syndrome, where niggas work themselves to the grave, I refuse. It's not gonna be me. You're not gonna catch me burning my back out and working myself specifically to the grave to provide materialistic. Man, hell no. Under no circumstances. No. Like, I appreciate her. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. That was all I gotta say about it.
And Marcus, what do you think about this comment right here? Do you realize we have fathers and they tell us to get a man with means?
Yeah, I think they mean like a man that could take care of a home and be able to provide substance. So food, like shelter, food, necessities. Not to go buy your ass a Birkin bag. I don't know too many people fathers saying, if he can't buy you the S5, the S560 or the new Tesla truck, then you shouldn't be with him. That's not what fathers be saying. So I think it's a misunderstanding. Like, I would tell my daughter to be, with the man that can provide for the family and all that. I'm not telling her that she need to go find a nigga with the most money to make sure she live a life of luxury. In fact, I would tell her you need to focus on having more kids as opposed to buying more material objects. That's not even that's not how we want to center our life. That's not how I want you to center your life. It's up to you, but that's not how I want you to center your life.
All right, go ahead, Willie.
I think that we should shame people in general for wanting something they haven't earned, or feeling entitled to something they haven't earned, or in these cases that they aren't themselves. It's not fair for those of us who have to work to actually get these things and have done the work, and then for me to get with a woman who says, well, I want a man who's going to be faithful to me, but she's not a virgin. Or someone says that a woman who says that I want to get with a guy that has more money than me, but she's not financially literate, or she's already struggling. Because then what happens is, when you deal with those types of women, you end up getting put in a position where you have a woman who wants you for what you can do for her, which is ease a burden, the burden of her having to be an adult, the burden of her having to be a woman, and then sacrifice that in a partner that you're looking for because she's not going to be able to benefit you.
What do you think about this comment, Willie? But why are men still choosing these type of women?
Because that's the best they can do. And a lot of times women think the same way women think they have a bunch of options because they got a bunch of men that want to fuck them. They think that men are choosing these women because if that's the best a man can do, he's going to do whatever it takes to maintain access to her vagina.
What type of women she talking about?
These bums.
I don't.
One that's choosing a man solely for resources, or she lightweight a gold digger.
Yeah. Okay. Because I know for me personally, I don't. I think in order to deserve something or to deserve a man, you have to be what he's looking for. I don't. It don't matter what that is. I know for me, you don't got to be financially literate or nothing like that. I can teach you all of that type of stuff. You just got to be whatever I'm looking for. You got to be that. If you're willing to be that woman, then you deserve me. And I feel like if you're a man who is like, yo, this is what women are telling me they like. This is what this woman wants. If I build myself up to be, or if I just happen to be that, what she's looking for, then I deserve her if I've done what it takes.
Okay. Go ahead, Brother Hink.
Shit, let me make sure. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Okay, so cool. What's your question, y'all?
That was just a reaction to the video, man, where they spoke about a woman having desires, her being shamed for wanting to choose a man that has money.
Ain't no wrong with her having desires, but doesn't mean she's always gonna get what she desires. That's the thing about it. You got to be a special type of person. And with that being a special type of person, you might have to do certain things that you may not be accustomed to doing. That's not your typical norm. Are they willing to make those type of sacrifices? Are they willing to make those type of decisions, and maybe even some life-changing decisions? He may not be tolerating you going out and hanging out with your whole ass friends, but that was some things you did every weekend. You know what I'm saying? Going to girl trips 2 or 3 times a year. It may be, you may not be doing that no more. Are you willing to make those type of sacrifices? So for the most part, I don't think most women are willing to make those type of sacrifices. Not normally. Now, he may show a life then like, okay, she may do it for a temporary amount of time, but then she will try to probably convince that man to move off his standards or change his stance on the situation. And if that man's the man that he should be, he shouldn't budge and go from there. So I'll leave it there.
All right. I'll play some more of this clip, man. We'll get into it. But before I do, so Steven's $5 says it's shame we have to shame. Shame. It's what kept people in line. It's a low down, dirty shame. Thank you, Mastro. Appreciate that. If you haven't already, hit the like button, man. That's all I'm asking for. If you guys hit the like button, let's go ahead and get into the rest of this clip.
I want to just be, so I've heard everybody, and I don't even know if the word honest is what I want to use, but I want to just speak from this train of thought. There are disqualifiers that you have during dating. I mean, as human beings, it would be nice to be able to get to know everybody's character to a point where you can decide whether or not that they are a compatible match. But it's impossible as human beings. So what we do is we get shortcuts, whether that's good or bad, we do. You'll say aesthetically, this person is qualified for me to go talk to this person, right? And men do that. It's not the only thing, but that's what may be something that says, okay, I will accept this advance or I will make this advance towards this woman. Yep. Then I get to know her character, and then based off of that, I might proceed to go further or back away. I don't think it's unfair for a woman to say, based off of your fitness as a man and the things that you've done as a man, sorry, the easiest thing to see what this man has done, the easiest way to vet what he has done is typically what he has. But it can tell you a lot about a man's character. So I can see why a woman would say it's not the end all be all, but this is something that if you don't at least have, let's say you're 35, if you don't at least have your own crib, at least have a car, at least have this is not something I'm willing to do. And then you think about if you're thinking about a family, you're thinking about, as a woman, you're saying, okay, maybe I'm thinking about having children one day, or whatever the case may be, and I want a certain lifestyle to bring my child into. And so I want a man that can...
Certain lifestyle.
But I think it's
Is it
also like,
that's fair? You don't think that's fair?
If
okay, let me just say this. My bad. I'm just trying to straddle the fence. I'm gonna just tell you my opinion.
I see.
I think that it's completely fair. And the reason why I think it's completely fair is because as men we do the same thing. People do that.
Yeah.
I don't think we do it at the same clip though.
But what I'm saying is,
but it's not for y'all to do. Is what I'm saying. It's we have to separate.
I'm talking about on the aesthetic side because that's the comparison that's being made. The finances for the women.
I'm gonna take that without making comparisons. There is a part of my life where I've dedicated so much to work and achievement and finances for the sole purpose of having a family.
Yes.
For the sole purpose of being able to serve my family, to give my wife an option whether or not she wants to work or not, and my children don't have to be without growing up. And I've reserved from having a family or a child earlier than I was ready because of that reason. Now I can bring a woman into this nest. So I am seeking a woman that complements the work that I've done as an individual. That may not be she is as financially together because that's not necessarily what I'm looking for, but she can complement what I've already had, right?
And that right there is part of the conversation because we're talking about the average man. If we're talking 30s, 40s, we start to understand aesthetic is not enough, right? It got to be those intangibles that you was just talking about. And that's why I said I don't feel like it's at the clip of the disdain and the shame that really comes towards the men that may not have $200,000 a year coming in, but they got all these other beautiful intangibles, like Mike kept saying. We don't even get the opportunity to show you what these intangibles are when on our side, she may not be a 10. Hold on. She may not be a 10, but she got these intangibles that at 35 years old, that shit means more to me than having an Instagram model on my side. I feel like there's a lot more leeway for men in this era than it is for men, from women the other way.
Let's go to get into it. Go ahead, Real Dope. I know you ain't speak too much on the last one. So what are your thoughts?
What are my thoughts? I know in general, like, I don't shame women who want a man with money in general. I don't shame that. I think that's how women are designed, to want a man with money. However, it's obvious that there's a lot of women who aren't doing what those men are looking for, who aren't the type of women that those men are looking for. Like I tell people all the time, like, don't listen to women. Listen to the type of man that you want to be with is who you should be asking advice for. And the type of woman who's with that type of man. Don't listen to the Dr. Bryants and all the women, like, and all that type of stuff. No. As long as a woman is what I'm looking for, then she's done what it takes to be with a man like me. I think it's that simple. I don't care about your degrees and all that type of, you telling me, oh, I got a degree, I deserve a man. Like, I don't give a fuck about none of that. Can you cook? Can you clean? Do you admire me? Can you listen? Do the word obey bother you? All right, we got to fix that. We got to get you to the point where if I say you obey me, you like, yeah, I do. Like, we got to fix all these type of things. That's what I'm looking for in a woman. Like, I don't like, when I give you whatever you looking for, whatever you looking for, I can give you that as long as you give me what I'm looking for. And that's how, relationships should go. But I don't shame women for wanting a man like, oh, I want a man with, who's doing this in life because I want to be able to provide my kids with this type of lifestyle. If that's what you into, cool. Just do whatever the fuck it take, whatever he looking for. Do it. If he the type of nigga wants you to get down on your knees every night and pray to him or whatever, if that's what he's looking for, then do that. If he wants several wives or I don't know, but as long as you're doing what that individual is looking for, then you can, you qualify for them.
All right.
If I so I agree with our boy in the red. We all have preferences, right? The part that I don't understand of this conversation is why are we complaining? Why would we complain about a woman that doesn't want you? If you're a good guy, if you check all the other boxes, so what this broad don't want you? It's gonna be another 10 out there that's looking for exactly what you are, and she gonna gravitate right towards you. You ain't gonna have to do no extra work. All you gotta do is just be you. So why are we on a panel complaining about, oh,
We can't even show the broad. Who cares? Show the woman that actually wants to see it. And that'll avoid this whole useless conversation, in my opinion.
All right, go ahead, Jill.
This makes men look weak.
They are. A lot of us are.
Go ahead, Chels.
I think I was thinking about like entitlement versus desire. Like everybody has super duper desires of what it is they want out of life. That's natural. I think it's when you act entitled to it without actually putting in the work and being the person that actually goes out and gets it is where the shame should we shame the person aspect of it comes in. So, you know, if a woman wants a high value man, but she's not willing to be a high value woman, and she goes out in public and professes that she should be just entitled to it because she's her, then yeah, that's gonna be a problem.
You guys can hear that?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought y'all heard something. Go ahead, Trev.
I get what it was saying with that, but I think that the part that they're really missing is just being realistic about it. Like, we could want whatever it is that we want. I still don't believe in the whole shaming thing, right? Because what's that really gonna do? Does shame provide correction anymore? In 2025, I don't think so. Not really. Not for women. Not for these women. Shaming don't mean nothing. It's unaffected. At least if we do it. If men do it, shaming is not nearly as effective as it used to be back in the day. If women started to shame them, then that would be a different story. One of the main things that I say is that you can't really tell a woman what to do. Sometimes they just got to figure out on their own. They got to bump their head. So the only way to correct this is through the men's actions, right? I constantly say that women who are behaving like this, if they don't have realistic expectations and they punching outside of their weight class, then they should be avoided by any means. Get them out of the dating pool. Let them know that they don't qualify. They should face the same harsh realities that men have to face on a regular basis. When we suck, we know where we stand in the dating market. Why? Because women don't care about showing us where we stand in the dating market. They don't care about fading us. They don't care about ignoring us. They don't care about a slow text. They don't care about asking for whatever they want and not providing anything. We face rejection on a regular basis from women if we don't have our shit together. So I think that women should receive that same amount of rejection from men. You don't have to shame them. Just reject them.
All right, go ahead, Willie.
I don't think that he really means a lot of what he said, but his woman is on the other side of the panel with him, so he's saying stuff to him, saying to not. He's softballing his response because to say that, well, some things might be more important to me. Like, it's really hard for men to be genuine when they're talking in front of their women because they have to be careful about what they say to make sure they don't offend their woman or hurt their feelings or say something that is contrary to how they know their women to be or how the women is known to be or perceived publicly. I wouldn't think that any of that makes sense in most situations, but unfortunately, the majority of men are average. Like, that's why it's, the average is that's saying the root of the word. So I'm not necessarily thinking that there's anything wrong with it, but at the end of the day, we know the math. It's only a certain amount of men who are going to have their way with women or in life in general. And if these average women think that they're going to be entitled to those men, then they need to make sure that they do what it takes to be what that man wants for himself. And there's very few women who do that.
I always think the example that I use all the time is like when you say that you deserve a certain guy right? Imagine God saying, okay, whatever that man is doing right now, let's say he chopping some wood or whatever, he grabs him and he puts him in front of you, right? He say, all right, here, this is the man you deserve. You deserve him. And he looking for you in front of you. He like, you deserve me? Like, what? Bitch, I don't want you. What you mean you deserve me? Like, no, put me back where I was. Like, you got to think of it that way. Like, when you say you deserve something, that mean that there's another person who you saying he belongs to you. Like, are you what he want? Are you what that man wants? So that's kind of like how I think about it.
Go ahead, Hank.
Yeah, I don't know why my man was afraid to talk. I mean, if that's his woman, then she already should know his mindset. So it shouldn't be nothing if he said it right there on the show. Now, if he can't do that, then that's a problem he has within himself. And so I don't know. Look, I think like Viz was saying, I don't try to change these heifers, man. I'm not trying to save them like my man Real Dope Daddy be doing. I'm not putting a white flag out. I'm not trying to convince none of these heifers. Nothing. Only woman I need to convince is the woman who I'm married, the woman who I'm trying to entertain, or vet, or I'm dating, I'm looking to be with. I'm not trying to change you women. I'm telling you, I'm not. Now, I'm going to express myself. I'm going to share what I feel, what I think, what I experienced, and what I've been through. I'm going to warn the brothers on what they could possibly be walking into or what they're going to maybe possibly dealing with. But as far as trying to change them, why? I'm not trying to get all of them. I just need that one, and I got that one. That's the only one I need to make sure she's on the right page with me. We locked together, and that's it. The rest of you heifers can fall by the wayside for all I care. And if you want all those things you say you want, I hope you get them. Chances are, probably not. But you find a ham out there where you could take advantage of them, ladies. Because they out there. These goddamn suckers are out there. Take advantage of them. And then they'll eventually learn. They'll come to the basement, and we'll have a one-on-one conversation, and I get them all the way right.
Well, Hank, I don't think that's what Viz said. I think Viz said, why do you shame them? And you the number one nigga who gonna be shaming some chicks on here. He ain't say he ain't say trying to change them. He said y'all shame them. You shame them all day.
Yeah, I don't think I am. I tell them what I think about them. But if you think I'm shaming when they come at me, I'm gonna come and they gonna come back at that. I'm gonna come back at them. But I ain't trying to intentionally shame them. If that's what I'm doing, then so be it. They just have to fall victim.
Yeah, no, my point was why even get to the point of I can't even show them what I got. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, what? You know, that's some weird ass shit. You know, if she don't see you, she don't want to see you, then that's just what it is, man. I'm not gonna wave my hands, you know what I'm saying, to try to get her attention, because I don't have to do that. It's a whole group of women over there that see it, you know what I'm saying, and they gonna appreciate it. So I think that when men do that, again, it just looks weak, and you setting yourself up for failure every time you do it.
Let me ask you guys this. Do you think there's a standard? Because I know that we often say that the dating market is going to show women where they fall. So do you think it happens for men as well? Do you think that there's a standard for men that most men strive to be?
Absolutely.
Okay, can you guys briefly describe like what that standard is?
I don't think most men strive to meet a standard. I think most men want women to come to where they are and be happy with that. And they complain when they not. I don't think they want to meet a standard.
You saying men don't want to meet a standard?
Yeah, I don't think that there's a standard that most men would like to meet. I think that men want women to come and meet them where they are. Like when I see men who will ask a woman out on a date or ask a woman for her number and then be mad when the woman don't like you immediately as much as you like her. I think that as a man, if you asking a woman to like, yo, I want to take you out, You don't gotta like me as much as I like you yet. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna show you why you should like me. Whether that be, seeing the way I pull up, the way I smell good, the way I look good, the way I clean up, or the way I talk. Whatever it is, like a lot of men be expecting a woman to be like, oh, she gotta show me the same amount of effort that I'm putting in on her. They ain't even going on a date yet.
What does that got to do with a standard then?
I don't think men want to meet the women's standards. I don't think most of them do.
Well, no, I don't think it's women's standards. I think the question.
I thought you said men standards.
Yeah, just man standards.
Okay, so is there, Jr. To clarify what you were saying? Can you?
So we often say that the dating market is gonna be a reality for most women. So I was just flipping it, wondering if it's a standard that most men strive to be. Is there a box that a lot of men try to fit in order to get the results when it comes to women?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there should be the basics, and I think we did a King Talk a while ago where we talked about it. But yeah, I think that there should be a standard as far as who you are as a man, and then who you would potentially be as a husband and a leader. So if you can't do the basics, you ain't got to be a 6-figure nigga. Even if you just the average Joe Blow doing 5, what I'm saying, a year, whatever. I think if you're a stand-up man, if you're a solid man that people respect, so on and so forth, and you check all the other boxes, then absolutely that should be the standard. Anything else just depends on what level you're gonna be at from there.
I just read a comment that said men do have a standard to be the best we can possibly be. Every time I talk to men about getting money, they just saying, I can't do it. I can't do it. You don't know how hard it is. You don't know how hard it is out here. It's the market. It's the data. It's the economy. It's all this other type of stuff. But I never did not. At least the minimum you should have is the confidence to be like, yeah, one day I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna have it. They don't even be like that.
That's the standard that they are, though. Again, it's 6 of us on this panel right now. It's 6 men on the panel. We all gonna have different standards, So again, I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing, because it's always been tiers all throughout history, all throughout hierarchy in nature. Everything is in tiers, and everybody got to play their role. So if they blaming shit on the market or the dating game or whatever the case may be, cool. Let them be where they are, and you are going to appeal to your audience. The sheep will know the shepherd's voice. So that's just going to happen instinctively. So if they not gravitating towards what you're saying, then shit, they got to talk to a broke nigga then.
So JR, I had 2 things. One, I don't think that the woman's results are a reality. I think it's the opposite in actuality, because women do have access to these men. It's not a reality. The only time that we get to witness that is post-wall, right? When it's far too late. But as of 20s, 30s, I don't think it's a reality, because most men will give them access. Even some what men are considered to be top tier will still give them access, just because of the low-hanging fruit. It's just that easy. But in reality, men, right? I think men want to have a standard, but you know how many single mothers we have. A lot of men weren't taught to be men. A lot of men mean well. They have good intentions, but when I'm outside and I'm talking to some of these young brothers, they don't really know as much as they should, or as they would if they had a father. Some of us, the lack of something will make us strive for more, but some of us would just learn to cope with it, right? A lot of us may have not had a father and maybe didn't have that opportunity, but somehow, some way, maybe had some positive role model in their life that would have just said, all right, look, this is what you need to do. But there's a lot of men who just go outside, they'll go to, they'll be out with like a regular loose t-shirt, kind of dingy, like sneakers ain't crispy, and they making a decent amount of money, but just not giving a fuck. No shape up. Like if you can't afford to go to the barber, they just buy some clippers and learn to cut your own hair. That's what I did. regardless if I could afford it or not. My time is everything. So I would rather just cut my own head. Why not just put the effort into it? But a lot of them don't really understand the importance of it. Not knowing how to talk to women, not knowing how to be around women. That's a skill set. That's not something that always comes natural. It's something that you have to develop and work on through practice. The game ain't something that everybody is born with. So a lot of these dudes really don't know. They try, but no matter how you spin it, we're always going to have a majority of average men. And if women aren't willing to accept that, then you don't have to. You have to either elevate yourself to elite status or be happy being single.
Do y'all genuinely feel like most of the men y'all meet are like doing the basics? Because I know whenever my girl tell me like, hey, my back hurting, or like, this or that ailment is starting to happen with me, I'll be like, are you drinking enough water? Right? Like, she be wanting to go and get on a new diet and do all this other type of stuff, and I'd be like, yo, you should just go. Do you even move like daily? Like, are you going for walks? Like, are you drinking enough water? Are you eating protein? Are you eating the things you're supposed to be eating? I feel like most people don't meet the basics and they want to kind of like jump over those. So do y'all think that most of the men that y'all meeting are like, I don't know what's wrong with bro, because he's meeting the basics. He smell good, his hair is cut, he don't dress like a bum, sneakers is clean, he don't sound stupid. He sound like he read a little bit. Like, is that what most of the men y'all see are doing?
No.
Yeah, I think to me,
No.
that's what I see as the average, right? I just think that, and you said it, the standard that men typically have for themselves doesn't meet the standard that women typically want.
Right. I
So
think
what
that
are you suggesting?
What I'm saying is that we're more simple, right? And I'm talking about the average, right? I'm not talking, some guys, they super high performers, they want to be billionaires, but most men are in the average, and they're in the average because that's where their standards lie. At this point in society, everybody has the opportunity to ascend above the average. But what typically happens is once you get to the average and you can survive, and you're like, okay, I'm good. I'm just going to accept that I'm going to go to work. I'm going to get paid this amount of money. I know the check is coming every 2 weeks. So I'm good. I'm chilling. I could watch the game on Sunday. I could talk to my boys. I could chill. I could relax. Everything is smooth. That's the average. I think a lot of women out here, they're like, well, I want more than that. So the standard that guys have for themselves is lesser, right, than what the women actually want. That's what this whole conversation basically comes down to. And Vid said something earlier, and I wanted to respond to it. I think he was basically saying like why have the conversation? Why is it even a topic? And I'm not agreeing with this. This is just my thought. I think that human beings have a negativity bias, right? So if you get all A's and a B, typically your parents are gonna be like, yo, them A's are cool. What's up with that B? And then we internalize that. So if you have everything in your life aligned really well, but you make $50,000-$60,000 a year, and a woman says to you, well, you can't talk to me because you don't make enough money, that's going to be triggering to some people because that's her pointing out something that you perceive as a shortcoming within yourself. It just depends on how you choose to take that negative energy and apply it to your life. Do you want to go get more, or are you good with where you at? It's a personal choice.
I don't think men should be listening to women when they say what they standards are. Most of the time when you see a woman who say what her standard is, that ain't what her ex look like. That ain't what he had. That ain't what her baby dad look like. Like, I don't like it's probably 1,000 girls who gonna say I won't date a man with as many baby moms as you got. I wouldn't give a fuck what they talking about. They don't know they're gonna be fucking with me in 2 weeks. That's the type of confidence all these men should have. Like, I'm not listening to what a woman telling me her standard is. Like, girl, get out of here. Like, you gonna be on my line in 2 weeks.
Yeah, with that confidence, I think especially now, most men aren't confident right? So I think in that it's easier for you to say that for sure. I think I agree. I think that should be the standard, but I think even in a woman saying, you know, man, I can't fuck with you for X, Y, and Z reasons. I think for some men that is the push for them to raise their own standard. To okay, bet she not fucking with me because I make 60K. All right, bet, bitch, I'm finna turn up on you. Now I'm making 100 and I'm a stun on you. You know what I'm saying? And when you try to come forward with me, oh no, I'm good. That works. You know what I'm saying? For some men to raise their standards. I know for me, I didn't have the pleasure to be blessed, you know what I'm saying, like M. White and Trev. I'm a short king. So I gotta show up in other ways. You know what I'm saying? I can stand next to both these niggas and compete with them. You know, I'm gonna still stand out in the room too, just off the strength of me understanding, okay, I got turned down a couple times when I was a shorty, you know, just off the strength. But it's all good because I'm that guy. So, you know what I'm saying? My confidence, how I carry myself, I got the heart of a 7'4" nigga, you know what I'm saying, as they say. So I think that all comes with the territory. And again, you gotta get turned down so that you can really gauge and see where it is that you are willing to push yourself to get to.
All right.
I could agree with that, Viz. That certainly helped me in my younger years.
Mm-hmm. We'll play a little bit more of this clip and then I'll come back to you guys. I ain't forgot about y'all. I just want to make sure we get through the clips.
To say, and I'm gonna speak for me and probably you too a little bit, to see that I'm gonna keep it a buck, okay? What men are not thinking about when you are upset about a woman that you're choosing is that we ultimately want to submit to the leadership of our partner. Most women want to be soft in their homes. Most women want to be led by their partner, especially feminine women. Let me not say most women. Feminine women want to be led. So that's who I'm speaking to right now. Masculine men want to lead. Well, this is the thing. If I'm making all the decisions for the household, because I don't question where my rent is going to come from. I have a car, like all the things you just said, I'm like, oh, I did that 15 years ago. You know, so the conversations are a little bit different. And I feel like if you have to juggle between how am I going to put food in my fridge, gas in my car, and also pay my rent on time. Because at a time when I first moved to America from Canada at 20 years old, that was my story. That was a long time ago, and that's no longer my story. So if that's your story, great. Go be with somebody that has that similar story. Go be with somebody else.
That's the extreme example, though.
That's the extreme.
But the conversations that we have, and women are literally saying, I make $300,000 a year. If he makes $100K, he's not viable.
But wait, Doc, this is what I'm saying. I'm saying leadership. It's about leadership. So for me,
but money doesn't equate to leadership at all.
Let me finish. This is what I'm saying. I'm saying if you are going to lead me in the ways, that means you need to have the mindset. That means you need to have the mentality, the emotions, the spirit, the energy, the physical. And that's why I said in the beginning, rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. You cannot use 7 because that's how I measure success. It's not just about the money. If all you have is money, you're broke. And to a woman, if all you have is your body, you're broke too. Y'all deserve each other. That's the modern day woman I'm talking about, and the men. They deserve each other. But what I'm saying is, if you're gonna lead this household, I don't wanna have to slow down to let you pass me up.
So let's speak about the women who are not feeling, because it's so extreme that the average woman doesn't make that much money.
That's true.
Right? So when we're speaking about extremes, we're speaking about your specific situation, right? And we are not accounting for the actual listener. The actual listener is making 50, 70, maybe 80, right? So what happens to the man that only makes 50, 70, 80? Is he now completely disqualified? Because we've completely changed the conversation. We said average. Now we're talking about men that make $300,000 a year. We can't even keep the conversation to the same topic of the average man. He's still being bypassed in the conversation. So if he's being bypassed in the conversation where we can't even stay on topic and talk about the man And imagine the women that's listening to the conversation, their mind is still going to the $300,000 man.
Can I just say one more thing? Let me just add this context. Because I missed the landing the first time I talked, so I just want to say this part. Even if you are that 50, 60, 70,000 earning man, there is still a desire for you at some point to make enough to where your wife doesn't have to work.
Yes. Are people not able to make a living and provide a beautiful life with $50,000? That's crazy. That is exactly what he said. That's what he said. That's exactly what he said. If a person makes under a certain amount of money, to say that they don't have the ability to lead, provide, and have all of these things, that's exactly what y'all are saying. Y'all are going around about a way to say it, but that's how people are perceiving the things that y'all say. And when y'all speak, y'all completely discount a large portion of the world, right? Because you only speak towards your experience, and that's not fair to the average listener.
I agree with that.
Go ahead, Willie.
I don't think that the men that don't qualify for a particular woman's standards should be included in the conversation they're having. Why would they be talking about men they don't want to date? I don't have an issue with that. I also don't have an issue with men or women wanting guys that make money, as long as they understand what they lose leverage when it comes with that. She was saying that it's hard for her because she's done all these things 10, 15 years ago and she's making money. But the problem is, what she'll understand is that the higher her income goes, the less desirable she is to the man she wants. So most of these guys, like her dream guy, he doesn't want a woman who makes a bunch of money. That's not important to us. It doesn't benefit him. It's not going to make her any better of a partner. It's actually more likely to make her less desirable as a partner, because to be successful in business, you have to have a lot of traits that don't necessarily make you a great wife or a girlfriend. They make you a good employee or employer, but that's not what we're looking for. So when they're saying, that you can't provide a life at $50,000, you can't. You can't provide the life that average women want, because average women don't want average lives. They want exceptional lives. And for some strange reason, they feel entitled to them. I think it's because exceptional men will fuck average women, and they turn that into like, well, if I can fuck rich niggas, I should be able to get and keep one. And that's just not true.
I'm curious as to why is this conversation even happening with a woman that's not married? Like I'm assuming she's single. So I mean, it's like, why? Who cares what your expectations may be? You can't even keep a man at this point. That's what we do know for a fact, regardless of whatever the situation may be. Because if the dude that she wants is out there, so why can't you get him? If you all of this and that, and you know what I'm saying, why can't you get this magic man that you want, that you see yourself with? That 9 out of 10 you're probably never going to get. She's going to be 40 years old talking the same shit.
Going to be. I feel like she probably just about there already.
She going to be 50 years old talking the same shit. So it's like, why are we even allowing these people to even lead the conversation in topics like that? It's crazy.
I'm curious what women get out of listening to women like that.
But we need this though. Again, Mandy, look, these are samples that we need to take back to the cave and share with the young bloods. Listen to how they talk. Listen to how they speak. Listen to how they move. Listen to how they think and operate. We need this. Allow these heifers to talk. Allow them to speak freely. Fellas, stop talking so much and just pay attention. Keep your ears open, mouth shut. Listen to what they saying so you know what to do, how to operate and how to move. And when I talk to my son, come here, dog, look at this. And I'll show him what's what. You see how she's talking? That's a woman you don't deal with. Don't waste your time. Don't even entertain her. Matter of fact, she's not even worth your penis. Don't even give her that. But if you feel the desire to fuck on her, then fuck on her and get up and keep it moving. Other than that, what else is it good for them? Let them talk. We just need to take that intel and share it with the nephews, with the little brothers, with your cousins, with your heartbroken friend, because he was out there messing with that type of woman and he fucked up. And now you say, dog, I told you. And that's what you get right there. That's what you was dealing with. Now you know the next time you go out there, you won't deal with that anymore. You already touched the fire. You felt how hot it was. Learn from your mistakes. We need that real dope.
I think that man should be hitting. If men are gonna be out here fucking anything, it should be the average women that most men would never wife, because then that leaves the good wifely women alone to be found for a man to wife. It's, everybody has a throwaway.
I mean, but the good wifely women are being wifed though.
Really, not well.
Well, I see. I agree. I think I agree with that, Viz. Because at this point, I look at you see a lot of women saying, they're single by choice, and like they've clung to that mantra like it's a reality. Because any woman who wants to be in a relationship and wants to be a wife, or even just to be married, if she could have the type of man that she wanted right now, she would. So the reason why they're single is because the man they want don't want them.
Don't we feel like this is the American way? Isn't this what we're taught? That we are the best, that we deserve the best? Isn't this what these women have been taught all their lives by their peers, by the church, that God is just going to have a man for you? He's just going to spawn and you're going to have a beautiful life. This is what they've been taught their entire lives. And to expect it to change right now, after they've been beaten ahead for the majority of their lives, that this is what they deserve, this is what you're supposed to have, this is what's going to happen. We know that women don't think like us. They dwell on the possibility versus probability. They can hope and wish. That's just something that they do. Women are allowed to live in fantasies and not always have to pay the consequences for it. Us as men, when we live like that, we pay the consequences immediately, whereas they don't have to pay those consequences. This is just what women think. I don't know if they're ever going to realize how the world really works and what they truly have access to. It doesn't look like it's happening anytime soon. And us as men, for the majority, we're not willing to do our part and exclude these women from the dating place. We're deeming them as recreational use, which is okay, cool, but it's not going to alleviate the problem. It's only going to exacerbate the issue in actuality. So as long as we're willing to do that, then shit, we can't really complain about it either. If the one thing that we could do to help correct the market, we're not willing to.
Hey, but Trev, men was told that same thing. See, we was told to make sure we get the right one. There's just as there's the expectation that women have. I would hope that most men have the same. Like
I think everyone was told to get the right ones, but did they tell you wasn't gonna have to do shit to get it? Did they tell you God was gonna give you one? Did they tell you one was just gonna spawn because you deserved it? Or did your parents tell you that you're probably gonna have to put some work in to get things in life that you deserve?
Well, I think at one point, and we had this conversation before too, but even then, for women, even if they were in the church, right? When I was growing up in church, I knew that the girls had purity class, right? And whatever the hell they taught them in purity class, it wasn't this is just going to be handed to you. This was you're going to have to learn how to do X, Y, and Z, right? Back in the day, back when Heek was a young buck, they had the grandmamas teaching, the daughters how to turn.
I dig it. I dig it.
You gotta know how to
I'm old enough to remember all of that, but they've since chased the men out of the church. Right? They've since chased the men out of the church. They've jumped on. See, what happens is once you infuse politics into anything, it destroys it. Politics were infused into the church, and Democrats brought their views. When I was younger in church, there were a lot of things that were unacceptable, right? You couldn't dress a certain way, and there wasn't no rainbow. That was just not a thing. I remember them having classes for people that were struggling with it. Now you can't do nothing like that, right? It's what do you mean? What's wrong with that? So a lot of nonsense has happened, man. It's been gynocentric now, and it's chased men the hell out of there because we don't see a place for us. We weren't able to develop. They put much more into women, just like anything else in life, right? We can't get mad at it. We just have to adapt. But that's the reality of it. So yeah, we got chased the hell out of the church, man, for the most part, unfortunately.
Well, let's get him White in there. I haven't said anything in a while. Go ahead, White.
You had a specific question?
No, I was just based off the clip in the conversation that we've been having. I don't know. Did you see the clip?
I saw the majority of the clip. I was getting my daughter last snacks so she can go back to bed.
Okay. Well, if you wanna,
if you could ask the question, if you just rephrase the initial question you asked, then I could answer that.
Yeah, it was just unreactive. I'm about to play some more of this other clip, and I'll just come to you after that. Anybody else want to add anything to this one before I move on? All right, here we go.
I also feel like, and the men in the comment section gonna tell me if I'm wrong. I believe if you're making $50,000, $60,000 right now, I believe you still have a desire. Even if your family is happy with you, your wife is happy with you, there's a desire in you to make enough to where she may not have to go to work one day. To make enough to where your kids ain't got to worry about whether they can pay for college or not.
But you're valid before you even get there.
But I'm saying there's a desire for that to happen.
The desire is there.
The desire is there. And here's the thing. The desire is there. A lot of times, a lot of men, they're more concerned about making that finances and that security because they want to give it to somebody. They want to provide it to somebody.
Yes.
So it's that innate thing that we have.
Yes.
So that's why I'm saying on the flip side, I can understand why a woman would be attracted to a man's desire to do that.
But also there's a component of this that we are missing, and that is that men that are not happy with where they are financially are fucking mean. They treat you terribly, okay? And I feel like there's a space for that, and this is why I'm saying that it's not that you're not valuable to me, but there's a room and a lane for everybody that I feel like makes it safe and equitable for all the parties involved. If you meet somebody and they're a 300K woman, that may not be quite the lane for you. It doesn't mean that I value you less. It doesn't mean, but you're going to perform better. You're going to be a better person. You're going to have a better mindset. You're going to be in a clearer space when you feel valued, safe, at peace with where you are. And it's no harm, no foul in that. Stay there in that lane with the women that are in alignment with you, and leave the women, and don't be mad at us calling us broke, gold diggers, dirty, bald head scallywags on the internet because we are in this lane. And again, it doesn't make me feel like I don't value the same, but I have also experienced men that are uphill coming up a financial battle. And the good thing is that it will be wonderful to meet a man and he's like, babe, let's do this together. Let's build. I got this, you got that. You got my back, I got your back. But the reality of it is because I went to fucking school, I was valedictorian, I graduated, I got a master's degree, I did all this shit. Now you mad at me because you not in my lane. Get in your lane, make some more money, and then come over here. Now we all good. It's simple.
But it's
I'm gonna push back just a little bit.
I love how you push back.
I love you, sis. The way that you just spoke was like there was no issue with the men who made a certain amount of money. That's less than what you desire. In your last tonight's conversation episode, you said that man would have never even met me, which you ate when you said it. I fucked with how you said it. But it wouldn't even looked my way. They wouldn't even been in the same room as me. The way that you said it, it lacked compassion. And so how you said it now gave validity and value to them, and acknowledging that where they are is valuable where they are. Don't work for me, but there's still value in them. But when you say that man would have never even met me, when women hear that and when men hear that, there's no compassion in that. So it instantly devalues them, it devalues their purpose, and it devalues how they have the ability to show up.
Candace, I completely hear you. I completely hear you on that. But I stand 10 toes on what I said, and also my delivery, on my delivery as well. And I hear you, and I'm glad that this is a space where you can acknowledge, like, oh, that may not have been, it lacked empathy, it lacked understanding. But I truly, truly mean that. And this has come from somebody who built a tech startup, who has moved through spaces, who has been 22 in a C-suite, dealing with white men and all type of misogyny, sexism, and double standards, right? And the truth of the matter is that there are spaces that I am in, and there are men that live a lifestyle, whether you want to drink on the weekend, whether you got Don Julio pouring up, whether you're not getting up and going to the gym, there are men that live a lifestyle that I don't meet them. That's what I'm trying to say. Is that we are not in alignment. It's not that you a bum, that you a terrible person or nothing like that, but there are lanes that I have lived that my lifestyle reflects a crop and an abundance that men that are not cropping or not sharing, they're not there. Right. And that's just, and I stand on that.
I think exactly what you're saying is valid, and you should stand on it because that's what you deserve and that's your standard. My point is, when it's communicated, that man will never see me. When we have the conversation, but it also X's out. But also, if this is where you are, you still hold value. You just cannot serve purpose in my world. That's where the conversation becomes lopsided. And when women are listening to these conversations because they do look up to us and they do look up to what we're saying, a lot of people, Candace Love, I can't believe I just met you. They holding on to every word that I say. So there's a responsibility to how I say things and what I say. And I can stand on what I say, as you should as well. But also is it necessary for it to also lack so much compassion with the other people who are viable options to the average woman and the average man? They still hold space in the world too.
I see a lot of issues with that, man.
So I was I think you called me first. I'm gonna get right after.
My bad.
So the last lady that was speaking, Candace Love, I think that's her name, right? I think she's listening to understand and provide a bridge to get that person to the next point. So the way she was engaged in that conversation was like what emotional maturity should look like. Because she was explaining that although you may not have value for these people, to dismantle that they have value is wrong. And the responsibility of coming up on a panel, to come up on a show, and thousands of people hear your voice and not take heed that you might say something that will X out somebody that's not in your situation and view all the other men, because people assimilate or gravitate to the people they look up to. So if she's saying, I can't mess with a man that don't make 300K, you need to stay in your lane, nigga, and all this other shit, what's to stop the girl that's emulating her from doing the same thing and then yelling, this is what I deserve? I think that was excellent point she was making. The woman before her speaking, I'm not sure what her name is, but thank you. Like, again, you just need to say thank you. She's right, and she's so right, she just needs to be loud and right. Because when I used to go outside and go to Soho and then a little networking events and all that stuff, it is a group of men that's in them events. And then when I be in the hood, it's another group of men that don't be in those events. And those two worlds rarely meet, right? So she is right. She won't see those men. Hold on, baby. I told you to go lay down. Go lay down with mommy. Go lay down with mommy. What did I say? Go.
And what was the homegirl name? You said what, Love? What?
Candace Love was the first one.
Oh, her name was with the short hair?
The Candace Love was the one I was talking, the first person I was talking about. The second one, I don't know her name. The other lady.
Okay, so Candace Love is the one with the short hair.
Yeah, who was saying you need
empathy. Okay, so I got you.
Yeah, so let me just finish the last point on old girl. Those lanes don't meet. They don't intersect, right? I'm clear that those lanes don't meet, and I got homies that never. How you know him? How you know him? You know, she right. But the trick bag is in that other room, it's 35, 40, 50 to 1. And you damn sure not gonna get nobody with that type of attitude. Like when it's so thin, like everybody beautiful in a certain room. Everybody is doing okay in their life in a certain room. It's small things that will change. It might just be this girl laugh a little bit more than you like to X yourself out by being abrasive. I think you're doing yourself a disservice no matter how much money you make. It's just not going to end well for you. And the man that you potentially could get will be somebody who does not filter through all the things to find a quality woman, and you're going to be complaining about him in 3 years.
Yeah, so that lady, man, you said Candace Love. I think she has a good idea as to what's going on. She did her fair share of cooking tonight. Now homegirl that was on the left with the black short skirt, she there's a lot of things wrong with what happened there. You could kind of smell the vitriol and disdain she has for men. You heard it coming out in the voice, and not we're not going to really just concentrate on her per se, but this is just a feeling that a lot of women have, that disdain, that vitriol. She's angry with multiple types of men. She's angry with the men who have rejected her, right? She's the ones who she was saying that are effing mean. That just stung. The way she said that, you're like, damn, okay, you could feel that pain. Like, that's the people who rejected her. She's also angry with the men who feel like they deserve her, that she doesn't feel deserve them. She's angry. She'll get mad at a dude who will press her if he ain't got everything together that she thinks he should have together. She's just as mad at this dude because you in the way of me getting my champion. So that's how she feels about it. So from what I understand, her, like most women today, don't understand what it is that men are actually looking for and what the sexual marketplace actually looks like and what things really mean, right? She has no idea that she is going to absolutely repel most men that she's looking for, that she feels like she qualifies for. When you hear the things that she's mentioned about her education and she did all of these things, she doesn't understand that that's not the act of you obtaining these things, the act of you being educated, having a business. Men don't hate that. Men hate the fact that when most women do that, they talk like her, they act like her, and they're as entitled like her. That's what men hate about successful women. It's not that we hate your success. What we hate is when you behave like that. And once women get theirs, this is what we usually see, and it's unfortunate. And that's why she's probably gonna have a goose egg when it's all said and done. I'll let somebody else go.
I think a big point to look at in that conversation is that one of those women had a ring on their finger. The other one don't.
Which one has a ring on her finger?
Let's take a
One there with her
guess.
husband.
Let's all take a guess.
I'm
One
going
of
to
them
say
was there with her
Candace
husband.
Love.
I'm assuming, I don't know if the camera is flipped or whatever, but it looked like Shorty had a rock on her left hand. So just from the conversation, just off of how they're interacting, just in the vast difference of the tone. You got one chick that's and the other one, she's still speaking softly like a woman. What
She was
man
trying to speak
knows?
life into her. While she was trying to tell her she wrong, she was speaking life into her while doing that.
Talking to her like she was a baby. So I mean, this should be the part, and I agree with him. We do need these type of conversations for men to see the difference of this is how a woman should act, and this is how them heathens act. So choose accordingly. There's a reason why this 300K making woman can't find a man. And this other young lady that's saying that you can absolutely have a good life off of 50K, she got one. So fellas, don't waste your time with chicks like that. It's a waste of time, energy, and space.
And if you do find yourself a one and you complaining about her and all of that, it is your fault. You not leave her alone. Leave her alone. If you leave them type of women alone, you won't have nothing to be mad about when it comes to this stuff. That's a oh my God. Just leave her alone. Let her be great. Let her be great by herself. Just let her be great.
I find myself, because I'm very introspective, so I find myself thinking like about this situation, and of course we all get to a point where it's like, oh, she don't deserve what she says she's looking for, and this, that, and the third, because my personal, because I don't want no one, I don't care if a woman is making this type of money, and I don't care if a woman is, you got all these accomplishments, I don't give a fuck about none of that, right? I find myself saying that, and then like you find yourself almost hoping that like, yo, telling the other guys like, yo, don't even waste your time with girls like that. And I can't really. I don't know who the niggas is that she know. Like I don't know who these tech guys is she meeting, and all that type of stuff. I just know that like when I hear all of that nonsense, it make me think that she prides herself on all her accomplishments like a man, you know. And I don't want no parts of that. I don't care how much money you make. I feel like after a certain amount of money, like a woman, like you know, like you work a job and they got a cap on how much commission you can make. So after you make 60,000 in commission, all of that over that amount don't even count no more. It's like that for women to me. Like after you make 60,000 or whatever, I don't everything after that you just working for nothing. I mean, of course you get to buy the stuff that you want, but yeah, I don't know who the type of guys is that you know that she's attracting or that she's around to make her think that like once a guy should be working to make 300,000 just to get on her level, then date her. Like, why would I be dating you if I made $300,000? Why wouldn't I date a nice bad John that is worried about that wants to submit to me and admire me and stuff like that? Like, I don't know. But hey, man, if she getting results, if she know what she doing, that's her business.
Go ahead, Jim.
Average men, I was gonna ask, are average men pursuing women like her?
Why not? She just looked like a woman. Like you walk up to her like, "Oh, what's up? Like, you know, how you doing today?" And I guess she'd be like, "Hey, I make 300,000. What do you?"
Okay, not okay. I got you. Because I was wondering. I've been married for 10 years.
About the girl in the black? You talking about?
Yeah. Shorty with the skirt on.
Oh, a skirt on.
And a skirt or whatever.
Yeah, it's a mini
I've
skirt.
been married. It's a skirt.
Yeah, it's like a black leather mini skirt. Look like.
Yeah. I've been married for 10 years. Me and my wife been together for 20, so I don't know. Are the average men pursuing average women?
In my opinion, men are pursuing. I've seen a lot of men just pursuing whatever. Like men they just love women.
We just in the pursuit.
Average men have no reason not to approach her. She doesn't look like her success, so she's not extraordinary physically. And to average dudes, you know, shooters shoot. So, and then if she is meeting average guys and hitting them with that, like, you know, I make 300,000 a year energy. When she goes to talk to the man she actually wants, she may still be hitting them with that same energy about, you know, I do my own, but to the type of man she wants, 300,000, what we pay in taxes in a quarter. Like we don't, that's not a flex. So if you just look at her outcome and her current reality and her situation, it tells you that honestly, everything that these women are saying is just purely speculation and conjecture. It's not their lived experience. It's nothing they've done successfully. And I think that we should stop listening to unwed women in any type of relationship space. They should talk about dating, you know, fucking niggas and being played by niggas, all the things that they actually do well or experience. But when it comes time to being in healthy relationships, they need to shut up.
Does the average woman have the same perspective that she has?
I would say yeah, because the average woman doesn't realize she's average. If you tell a woman she's average, you might as well call her a bitch because it's offensive to them. Like the only people who don't think about who know we're average are men, because the world puts us in a hierarchy and shows us where we fall and that we're average. Women get lauded for, you know, big is beautiful, you know, sexual liberation, all these other things. So they all think that they tend to all think that they're better than they are. So
I think,
you know, it's unfortunate that there's only three things that'll humble women. You know, it's life, gravity, and taxes. Those are the only three things that end up that can ever humble a woman and make her be a little more honest about where she is. But if you just even like off the internet, look at women outside, like you can tell the ones who think they are bigger, you know, than they are. You know, I've seen some of the most attractive women that I've seen since I've been up here, you know, physically, whatever, inside of BJ's or Costco, and then get up to the front and be paying with an EBT card, but then go outside and, you know, got a 2023 series BMW. Like you can tell what they're doing. And these women, when they actually go out here and look for men, that same woman with that old ass BMW is looking for a nigga in a G63 or a Bentley or something expensive because she wants the man that can give her the type of lifestyle that she's out here fucking for.
Damn, did you just say a 2023?
23 is old as hell. He did.
Damn, that's
only 2 years
My
old.
bad.
She makes
So what I meant to say was a 2023 series. My bad. My bad.
I was about to. I'm like, damn,
My bad, bro.
damn,
I'm sorry.
You
I'm
made me second guess my
sorry. It's
life
not
just
you.
now.
man.
bad,
I was finna mute up. Shit.
Yeah, my fault. I meant a 2023 series.
To show,
I would buy a 2023 car.
Charles, I was gonna say to your point. I think that most women had a mindset, and it's ridiculous. But I think women just dream a little bit different than men, and their confidence is typically different when it comes to money. So they all think they're gonna be rich or something. I don't know, but if you ask a regular woman, you tell a regular woman like, you can be a millionaire. You can be like, yeah, I don't date women that make as much money as me. They're gonna look at you like you just insulted them. Like, bitch, you don't have no money. How does that even matter to you? Like, I don't want a woman that make $1 million. Like chicks that make $20,000 to get upset at you, call you insecure.
So does that make it? If most of them see the world in that way or in that way to a degree, does that make it easier or more difficult to find the average woman for the average guy who's actually a wife material? You understand? Do you understand? You understand what I'm saying?
Ask that again.
If we're going off the idea that most women have the perspective that Shorty in the skirt had,
okay,
right? But the average man is out here. Let's assume that he's looking for a wife, right? Considering that most of them are like her, and that's not what we want. Shouldn't that make it easier to find the one that isn't like that? Or are they all just in the house and they just introverts and quiet, and that's why we don't see them?
I don't know if average men are happy with the women that they can get. I'm trying to think, why would they even be complaining?
I would say that the best women are in relationships or married. Assets don't stay, unassigned for long. And with the way that the men that these women want operate, we're definitely not the types that miss out on opportunities because we understand, there's opportunity cost. So I would say that the majority of women that are worth being married or worth being in relationships are in them.
I'm gonna play some of that clip because on the front end of that clip, they was talking about that as far as it was a debate about the women that men are chasing, beautiful women. I understand what you're saying. It's like, well, it should be easy to find them, but the debate was that the men don't really want them.
That's why I asked: does the average man want the average woman?
Or like a better question is like the average men that are with the average men that are with the women that they with now, did they settle?
Well, I mean, can I answer his question, JR, before you play the clip?
Yeah, that's a good one.
So I think it makes it easier to let these fellas know what they want, what they shouldn't be getting, are going after, or what they really don't want. Now, is it making it easier for men to find harder? Yeah, it's going to be harder. It's going to be a lot harder because you have a lot of women who has that same chick's mindset. And it's just, unfortunately, you got to make sure you paying attention, watching out, looking at, asking certain questions. Make sure you ask the tough, hard questions and deal with the answers they give you. Don't turn that red flag into a yellow flag just because she's cute. Or she got a big old ass and some big titties. Or she got some good head. Nah, don't do that because you'll suffer in the long run. If that's the way she is and moves, you move as such and move off of it and keep it moving until you find that woman that you're really looking for, that's really on the same standards as you are looking for, that's really rocking with what you rocking with, that's going to accept you and your $50,000 to $60,000 a year job. You know what I'm saying? You never know what that at 50 to 60. That man might be a teacher, and that's his passion to help kids, to teach kids, to educate kids, and to give back to his community in some form or fashion. And maybe he's only paying $50, $60, $70,000, but that's that man's passion. Now, if she's not willing to accept that and move with that and deal with that, cool. Let her go. Keep it moving. Because please believe me, there will be a good woman who has that, probably more than likely have that same passion for the kids and is willing to accept you for whatever you make a year and ready to build with you. Matter of fact, even to the point of maybe even open a center for the kids.
Do we feel like do we feel like currently a lot of the talk on the internet is literally just us arguing about our nature? Because I've been hearing a lot about men and like polygamy, and if you going to be with a certain type of guy, be used to him having, he's going to have a certain type of woman. You're going to have to fit this role, and he's going to want more than one woman. I've been hearing that a lot over the past few years. And with women, it's like we're talking about how they're hypergamous, which we've all been knew that's nature. Are these things starting to come out of women being hypergamous, men wanting more than one woman, and are we just starting to have this conversation?
Yeah, I think society kind of scripted the way monogamy was the last 100 years. And I think the breakdown in late stage capitalism has caused it to get to a breaking point where especially when the human highlight reel of every person that you don't know on Instagram is visible, you see nothing but the most beautiful, thickest women. You see nothing but men getting out of jets and Rollies. And because you can see it, it seems like it's close enough to touch. So the nature of men is to continue to attract and to pursue these women until they reach a point in life where they don't. For most men, especially high earning, high achieving men, for most men. And the women that are chasing after those men tend to know it, and they're fine with that. They tend to know that that's what's going on. Like that's where you get phrases like, "I'd rather cry in a Bentley than in a Honda," or whatever they say. That's where you get those phrases from. I think I've been saying that I think polygyny is it's gonna make a huge comeback, because it was at one point how it was. I think it's gonna make a huge comeback. But in the meantime, while people sift through the rubble of what the data market is and late stage capitalism for the haves and the have-nots, there's gonna be a lot of upset people, men and women. Because even if the man believes in polygyny, it's not technically legal for him to practice it. So it's super difficult. And if the woman would go along with those things, she still has to find a man that's willing to go through that. So you'll have people who want the woman they can't get, and a woman that want the man they can't get, both looking above them, upset.
Okay. Can we all acknowledge that it's not, money's just one way to get women? Like that's just one way thing to attract women. You don't need no type of money if you're handsome. You don't need no type of money if you tall. You don't need no type of money if you packing, right? These are just certain things. Like we kind of fixated on the money, but these are all the things that women jump for. All of these things.
I think the main thing that you want is, just real quick, I think the main thing that a woman wants is for a man that makes her feel special. Right? Now, some guys can do that through money. Some guys can do that because they packing. Some guys can do that because they're articulate, right? Or whatever the case may be. But if you can make a woman feel special, pretty much you in it.
I don't agree with that one.
You don't think so?
I think that if a woman is attracted to you, that's you in it. No matter what that is. I don't think you have to make her feel special. I don't think you even have to like her back. If she's attracted to you, you're gonna get what you want out of her.
No, I don't think in my opinion, it's not that simple.
Short term or long term? You talking about short term or long term?
It can be both, honestly.
Yeah. I was gonna say it could be both, right? But I mean, it's plenty of dudes that don't have a lot of money that you come across who can get women, and it's because
Yeah.
they're good at communicating with women, reading their minds. You know, all women want us to read their minds, or whatever the case may be. And he has the ability to make them feel special and seen.
That's a way. That's a way to do it. But I think
That is one way.
the other. No, go ahead, Trev. Go.
I was gonna say, because you gotta understand, there's a lot of females who are talked to crazy, abused, and everything else, and still can't let bro go. Right? Dudes who straight up deadbeats, don't do anything right, but it's just that one thing about him that she is attracted to, that makes her feel like shit, and she's still on homeboy. So yeah, I think it's a lot more based on attraction. Not to say that that's a healthy situation, right? Some of those things might be built on trauma or whatever, but it still falls under whatever she's attracted to.
I think what you're talking about, though, that I would say that falls under familiarity, right? Like, human beings don't like change, will naturally stay in a worse situation because it's familiar, as opposed to it being her attracted to him. I think it's just she may be attracted to him because he's familiar, but I just don't believe that she like getting her face bashed in, and I'm like, oh, like she's like, oh, okay.
So let me
like
let me ask you this: in your experience, did you talk to you? Have you ever had a woman that was attracted to you who you might have talked crazy to, or just really didn't give a fuck and just did whatever and said whatever?
Me talk crazy to her,
or not like disrespectful or whatever, but just you just seriously nonchalant. You don't pour into her. You give her nothing. You ignore her. You she's in queue somewhere amongst the other females, and she's still on it.
Nah, not really. I've been in relationships. I'm a relationship.
Okay.
I've been in
I've definitely done that.
guy my whole life,
a
basically.
lot.
Say-
I'm telling you, and White's gonna
Hold
agree.
on.
think
I
real
missed
dope.
it. I missed it. I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
No, I was saying I've done that a lot, right?
Okay.
And White has explained that he's done that a lot, where he would pour very little into him and invested nothing. I think Real Dope probably has experience like that. I think mostly every brother on this panel has had similar experiences like that, where you pour nothing into them. You could talk to them, however, nonchalant, don't care, ignore them, slow text, anything that would be considered things that women don't like, and he's still all over you just because of that attraction. And you
Pour
can't shake him off
nothing,
with a
or
stick.
pour nothing, or pour just enough, or pour a little bit. Stop pouring. Pour a little bit more when she seemed like she about to go. Stop pouring. Sprinkle a little bit more. You know, like these are all things that just.
That's
I think,
breadcrumbing.
yeah, because he said that earlier. Like, if you just make them feel good, that'll get you in the door. That can get you in the door. However, that doesn't have to. Like, it's other men are born being able to get in the door because he tall, because he packing, because he's handsome to her. He in the door, and he can do whatever he want from there. It's like, it's all up to him.
Do you think that's a sign of? And I'm also talking to what Trev was saying. Do you think that's more a sign of a lack of self-confidence in her?
I
Like,
think
where does her confidence come into play outside of just the attraction? To be I want a man who doesn't necessarily want me.
I think in terms of long term, her confidence and her self-esteem can come into play. But I think just the initial attraction and allowing him to giving her body to him and stuff like that. That's all based to like that initial. And it's the same with men. We see a fat ass and we all, she got 2 kids. Oh, okay, maybe, we'll see what's up. Like, it's the same thing. We see a beautiful face and we start ignoring that they crazy and all this type of stuff. So it's the same.
I've done that.
I think the reason that works on a psychological level is scarcity. So it messes with the supply and demand curve. If you meet somebody and you as a man, and you throw yourself all in and head over heels initially when you meet them, that might come off weird to her, and it removes the idea that what you have is scarce because you're so free to give it. If in the long run, you may not, like, if you do have to do things, you got to work, or you're not able to pour that amount of time into the person, then they can appreciate that time more, because they know, one, you have scarce time, and if what scarce time you do have, you're willing to spend with them. I think that's the psychology behind it.
I'll play a bit more of this clip.
I feel like the average woman is asking for more than they give?
Absolutely, and I don't feel like most women are qualified for that. I think the way that I measure things, because I often on my platform get compared to Kevin Samuels, and not in a negative way, but inside of the truth that he speaks inside of a lot of things that he says. So the one thing that I take away from Kevin Samuels is for every person that hears this clip, rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. You cannot use 7, with 6 different ways: mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, financially, energetically. Add all of those numbers up, divide it by 6, give yourself a number. Now, this is the thing. When I said that, a lot of men even say, don't ask your friends and she's gonna lie on all. I think that we have this inflated sense of ego because we as women, Instagram has made us think that we have more options than we actually have. Those men aren't interested in you, or they might be interested in you, but they don't value. They probably just wanna smash you. And those are 2 completely different experiences from social media. So I think that we've got to be more realistic with, like, where are we on our own ranking? This hypergamy stuff, it's normal, but also, do you deserve that?
And I think to your point, because I think that's very true, a lot of women are comparing themselves on social media, and they are unrealistically insatiable. They have a lot of gluttony in regards to what they think they should have, what men should give them.
Yep.
And when they enter relationships, it is based on illusion because you don't bring that many things to the table. And even if you do bring exactly what that person has to the table, why do you still need more? Why is there never enough? And that's what you tend to see when people have a lot of money or a lot of status or whatever the case is. There always has to be something else, something more. And they never have the ability to just be okay with what is and what they have and value and appreciate what they have.
I think it depends on like what category that you fall in and just like where you are in your life, because the reality of it is that we didn't make the rules, and there are women that can get certain things out of men and live a particular lifestyle and could be dumb as a box of rocks, and I didn't make the rules, I just play by them, right? So that's just baseline. But I think also that there's a certain level that you get in evolution as a woman, where we spoke about, I've invested in my spirituality, I've invested in my skincare, I've invested in growing my edges back, I've invested in losing weight, I've invested, you get to all of these things and you're just like, yeah, that trumps me out of the average guy, and I didn't make the rules, I'm just playing by them. And I think that, like, especially for like myself being 37, and you get past that 35 mark, no kids, never been married, you want an ROI on all the things that you've invested in, and this spirituality. It's not just financial. It's spirituality. It's charisma, it's lifestyle, it's travel, it's all of these things that you have built upon that you feel like are going to tap you out of being with an average person. And again, it's just the way that it goes. And if you haven't even invested in yourself at all, the truth of the matter, and that's why I think men that cannot access those type of women are the ones that are angry and mad about it. But there are women that can access a certain level of men that they don't have to have anything but just exist, and that's just the truth about it.
But that level of man sometimes is also average. He just got a lot of money.
And that's what I'm saying. I absolutely agree with you.
And on
he
the
don't got nothing either.
Right, and on the opposite, and I remember on a podcast you was on where you was asked about a man I would pay 50-50. You said he would never even be in the room with me, right?
Never met him.
And the energy of that is kind of part of what we're talking about right now, because there's a lot of brothers that may have to go 50-50 with you, who may be 50K to 70K, but got all those other things she mentioned in abundance.
Yeah.
And they are great men
but
with
if you don't
average
have the
salaries.
money, and that's just the thing. Like, the rules are the rules. If you don't have the money, how the personality, the
I didn't
love,
have the money when I met my wife.
I get that.
Part of the love that we was able to share, me being an above average man in every other way and vice versa, we was able to feed into each other, and now we have an enterprise that we building together.
But
a lot of women are walking past these brothers because so much at the forefront is the financial aspect, and I know everything is so metric based and statistics when it comes to men, but a lot of brothers got a lot to offer that can put them in a position with the right woman to be the man who can take care of the bills, and they getting walked past every day.
What's the first lady name? Candace? Is her name Candace Love, right? What she was talking about, I really like her thought process.
I like
what
most
she
of it.
Yeah, what she was talking about when is enough, it had me thinking, like, I remember in the beginning of the pandemic, I'm like, man, I'm working myself. I'm trying to finish a personal construction project, run a whole 2 businesses, running back and forth. I'm talking burning myself out, 3-4 hours of sleep, just doing everything nonstop. Then I found out I was having a kid, and I was like, I can't live like this and be a present active father. What am I trying to get? Like, when is enough enough? Like, what is the thing that I want that I'm waiting for? What am I trying to work towards? And then I was thinking about it, I'm like, trying to be the man to make sure I always pull up in something slick. That shit is about other people. That shit ain't really even about me, for real, for real. That shit was about maintaining the image, maintaining XYZ. And I'm like, do I want to maintain the image, or do I want to be a present father for my kids? And that's the moment that I was like, man, I don't really need none of this shit. Like, I just really don't. It's not that important to me at this point. And I'm happy for the decision, because I was able to get to new heights as a man, be a better husband, I wasn't a father yet, but the type of father I would have been when I dedicated 20 hours to working, 20 hours of my day would have been spent focused on money and material things, as opposed to actually trying to bond with my family and create memories and all that stuff. All of that, it just changed. So I think most people, it's never enough. And honestly, I think it's an insecurity inside us, where we feel like we have to compete with others to show them that we're doing well, so that they can view us with high esteem. But why? Why do you care how other people view you? Why is the way somebody else looks at you more important than your mental health? Why is it more important than your time? Why is it more important than your family? Like, maybe it's not insecurity. It might be something else. But that's the only resolution I get.
Because we're humans. We're communal
What do you
people.
mean?
We're communal. It's in us. A lot of things that we say are, a lot of things. Of course, like, if we were perfect, right? Nobody would care about what nobody thinks. But however, we're humans. We're designed to be this way. We're communal. We care about each other. We care about what each other thinks. It's just reality. We can say, oh, you got insecurities, get rid of all of them. No, I don't need to get rid of all my insecurities. Like, I can keep a few of them. Some of them is unhealthy, but some of them are just natural. They're just gonna come. So we all insecure about something.
Marcus, I agree with your sentiment, but I could tell you the reasons. The 2 reasons is because we're treated differently and we're respected differently when we assume that money or status.
Yeah, it does have a real world effect.
Yeah. I mean, that's the cheat code. Yeah, I was gonna say that's the cheat code, Marcus, like the way that you're thinking, and a lot of people are not going to be able to get it. It's not meant for everybody to be able to get it. So you can be a teacher and teach it, and even if you paint the picture, like they're so concerned. Think about social media, the way it works. Like, people haven't even been able to disconnect from it. I hope it's cool if I say this, but I think Marcus, he might have upgraded his phone. You got an old ass phone, right?
You got the fold now.
You got the fold now. But prior to that, how many phones you got? 2 phones or 1 phone?
2.
Okay. Well, I can't use that example then.
No, the example you was gonna use is that I don't use social media and I don't be on my phone.
Well, you don't use social media, but the phone, because I mean, even when it comes to computers and shit, like, the shit just be non-function. I'm like, why don't you just upgrade? But he's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, the most important thing to him is his family.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are unable to, like, disconnect from what's happening in the world, because just like Real Dope said, like, this is reality. This is how the world works. This is how people view things. Same thing what Trev said. Like, when you got money, it comes with a certain level of power. It comes with a certain level of influence. So a lot of folks don't know how to operate on a different frequency to understand it's not important. Because I have the same thing. I'm like, these are just humans. I don't care. Like, who cares what they think? Who cares what they say? These are human beings. Like, the world has put them in these places, and they actually believe that they are this, and maybe they are, but who cares at the end of the day? I mean, I respect how the world works, and if you want to participate, then you can. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to allow another human to put me in a position mentally. Now, because we are human, we do feel. I tell my son it's okay to feel, but it's just how you regulate the emotions. I'm not telling you not to be able to feel, but whenever you get to a certain point in your mind, you have to put things into perspective and, like, man, this is just the way life is. These are just humans. This is social media. It's designed to be able to take up all your time so that they can make money off you in some form so they can have control over you. Like people they don't know how to disconnect from that. So it's not meant for everybody to be that way, to sum it all up.
I had took a note about something I wanted to one of the women said. I think like when it comes to women, at least for me, there are like objective like things that I feel like I know that this is what women want. And I feel like most men can understand like, okay, if you do these things, if you possess these traits, you're going to get women and you're going to be desired by most women and you'll qualify for most women. But I feel like women never get to a point where they understand what the type of men that they want. They just always assume, they ignore what they say. And they just assume they always know it. So I think that we do need some we do at least I think need a framework for like what men want. Because for me at least, when I hear a woman say that she's 40 and she don't have kids and she thinks that she's supposed to get points for that, it's like after a certain point, you lose all of the value that you built up. So like, what if like, all right, what's the age for that? When do you lose all the value from not having kids? Like, is it 45? Is it 50? Is it 60? Like, when do you not having kids not matter anymore? When do you not being when do you being a virgin not matter anymore? Like, what's the age? Like, we got to come up with that so that we know.
Do anybody got a guess on that age? I'm thinking about it. I don't know.
We gotta come up with it. Like, what is it?
On what? I would say when it's geriatric, mid-30s.
What age?
At what age does you not having kids no longer give you an advantage or give you points? When do we remove that?
Oh, when doing so becomes a liability. So whenever I guess they're at a geriatric pregnancy, I think it's 35.
So like I think it would be helpful if women like at least knew that, like, oh, I'm 37, I can no longer wave around. Oh, I ain't had no kids, I deserve it.
Their doctors tell them that when they go to these appointments. And again, if you wait until the last minute to do something, it typically never pans out the way you want it to. Yeah. And for women to wait until after 35 to start trying to have kids, again, just says that, okay, well, cool. I'll just, prioritize my life and doing what I want to do over than, my purpose for, as a woman and being a mother. So I don't.
But you got to. Women try to make their own standards anyway. So even though when dudes start saying, all right, well, yeah, geriatric pregnancies are dangerous, what women say was, oh, well, there's always IVF. So no matter what reality check that we get, we give them, men give them, life gives them, it don't matter. They still going to come back with some other bullshit fantasy that's just going to say, okay, let's rock that out.
Yeah, because they lie to themselves.
Right. Not understanding the risk of IVF and how hard it is to actually get that and how expensive it is to actually accomplish that. It's just wicked, man. Like people really don't get it. And then if you got to mess around and get a surrogate, now you got a whole nother animal on your hands, a whole nother expense. And do you
surrogates are cheaper than IVF? I'm saying.
It comes with its own challenges.
And there's such a thing as a combination being a virgin. How old are you? How old is it to when being a virgin no longer gives you any points?
As a woman, I don't think they have an age. I think for a man, it definitely. I think 30.
No, I think definitely got.
You get points. Wait, you say you get points if you're a virgin as a man up to 30?
Yeah, I was trying to be nice. Y'all,
I don't think it worked the opposite way. I don't think it worked that way. I could be wrong. I don't know.
I don't think we ever get points. I
don't think it's any. I don't think it's any benefit to that. For a woman, I think at least up until start getting around 35, maybe 35, you might still like find a guy who like, oh, you're a virgin still, but like once you get over that, it's like, bitch, I don't.
Now you figuring like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, like why you like. You probably not even trying to get freaky
because like, at that point you didn't know, but forget all that, because you could get a woman up to speed in 2 weeks, no matter who, damn near any woman. But that's still a major issue. Like you gotta think about that.
What's the major issue?
Pushing 40. Say what?
What's a major issue?
How old is Coco Jones? How old is Coco Jones?
She probably in early 30s, maybe, right? Late 20s.
She says she's still a virgin, right?
Okay. So that'll be valuable until she, you know.
That's why I call it like,
So-
why don't she got a man?
Yeah.
If
A
men
lot
say
of
want
women,
her,
So
she's
a
an
lot of
attractive
women
woman.
are afraid, like, and they, you know, a lot of women may have had men that they pushed away. The same, I don't know about y'all, but when I was younger, I would find reasons to like be, oh, I don't want like to stop fucking with women. I think a lot of
But
people who end up
that's
doing
our
that,
nature. Like theirs don't be that way. Like I don't know.
a lot of they be fucked up.
That's what I was saying. That's an issue, right? If a woman is 40 years old and she didn't leverage her virginity to bag whoever the fuck she wanted at that point, then yeah, that's a problem. I
It's
don't know if you ever
expired.
saw, but there's literally dudes who were paying crazy bread in the 7-figure mark for virginity. Like it's extremely valuable to a lot of men. So what I'm saying is, in your 20s, your late 20s, you like, okay, shit, you can pretty much leverage that shit to bag who you want. Unless it's a whole
I ain't
lot
gonna
of
lie.
other shit messed
No,
up
that's
with
too much. I ain't about to say that. Never.
No, go ahead.
Let me get off the camera.
Go ahead. Man, why you say it? He said I'm getting off the camera for this one.
I would my John Hughes. So I'm not going to enjoy it over here.
Horse.
I'm damn near prefer a motherfucking 4 months.
What?
Yo, damn! I didn't know he was gonna say that. I would have said no. That's too much.
That's wild.
What's going on right now?
Hell, bro. You off count for that one, dog.
Yeah. Damn. Yo, you know they're gonna rewind and shit to be like, who the hell was that? Yeah.
That's wild as hell, bro.
Oh wow.
If y'all ain't see it, it ain't happened. Back to regular schedule.
I don't know what's going on right now.
Also, like, does it count if you never had? If a woman doesn't, well, I guess it can count depending on your age. If a woman never had kids but she's had abortions.
Oh no.
I don't think that you would never know in its entirety. So I think it'd be one of those things that people kind of keep hush unless they got a personal relationship with you. You might be able to find out about one or two. But when I was growing up, it was a girl. I know she had about like 8 or 9.
Damn.
She was just racking them up. So
Maxed out in her state probably.
And I'm sitting there thinking like I don't even know how she would even disclose that if she did decide to date seriously in her elder age. I think I seen
a form of birth control. That's like Plan C.
Yeah. So like when you hear people say, you know, I've done the right thing and I protected myself, not to bring somebody in. Yeah, that was true, but it wasn't from a discipline form of action. So,
Crip, how you knew that's what I was gonna say? You must agree too.
I know
you said, yeah, I knew you was gonna say that. How you know?
I said that? No, I said if I knew you was gonna say that, I would have never told you to say that shit.
I don't even know what was disclosed.
I had no idea you was going left like that.
Oh man.
Let me go just run this. I'll just run one more clip and then we get up out of here.
I've only been here maybe 40 years. But I swear I've felt, you know, my whole time here. And I have never emotionally felt such a distance between the average black woman and the average black man. I might only be able to speak of like Northeastern America, okay? But as far as the average, as I sit amongst people that aren't average, reporting live from the trap, shit is bad out here.
Yeah, bro.
Every day, women are walking past Clark Kent looking for Superman.
I was one of them. Yeah.
You know, and we're programmed to do that because we were tricked out of our spot in believing that as long as she's a bad one, who cares what else? And then on the other side of that is I'm ready to get turned up, put up, and wanting to shut up. When those are all things that only the elite can do. But that's not even the dangerous part. The dangerous part is that when you fall for this, there's a lot of successful men that crashed out because they were trying to provide for a baddie that was just off the rapper athlete back to back.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of women who probably need love more than they need help, but they're looking for the up, and they go play up there.
Right.
And when up there realizes that I'm always gonna be up here, and they get hit with the G Money champagne, because it really comes down to cancel this one, I'll buy another one. Then we're way worse off. So how do you fix it? We can be elite, but we can also give advice to those on their way to elite, but also let people know that the reason why we might be elite is because there's not a lot of room up here.
Yeah.
And meantime, you're gonna need love to get you through most of the darkest days in your life.
Yeah.
I've had money, I've had power, I've had respect, but nothing got me through my worst days in my life than a partner, than a woman. And the things that I needed from her most were not her beauty, were not her body. It was her spirit. So when I walk out here and I say, what type of love do I look for, and what type of love do I encourage other people to look for? It's not just eyes closed anymore. It's eyes closed and pockets empty. The average person is looking for help now, not company. And when you look for help, that's a job. When you look for company, that's love, that's forever. And as long as we play all of these games, the superficial, the financial games, anything that isn't grounded in your desire to give yourself unconditionally to another person, it's all child's play. It's all child's play.
You talked about the elite, and y'all represent a growing, probably majority at this point of black women that are doing a damn thing. Getting money. A lot of y'all are in that elite class. I think I saw a percentage as far as the households that go 50-50 is, I think, 70% at this point, right? So you got a lot of couples that are together that may be in the average bracket, but as far as black women, y'all are ascending at an extremely rapid rate. And let me ask y'all this. I can't ask you because you already got me, but let me ask y'all. If a man came along, whatever, let's say y'all both make $500K a year. A man comes along, he's making $70K. He got a business plan. He got a vision. He's working towards that day in and day out. And you would have to look up at him on all the intangibles. You may be looking down financially, but he got all the other intangibles in place. Does he get a chance?
No.
Do you put him on?
No. I can
Do
put
you
him on.
invest in?
That was extreme. 570 is that's
200 and 100.
All it is one opportunity away.
But because a lot of y'all are pricing yourselves out of good men.
I say, no, I would rather be single. This is the thing.
Wow.
Let me tell you why. Because I don't think, for me, let me speak for me, and this is why it goes back to the beginning, rank yourself. I have gotten to a certain point because I've built to a certain point. I am disciplined in everything. I'm disciplined in relationship with God, in my emotions, in my mentality, in my energy, in my body, and how I eat. I am very disciplined, and so I would expect that a man is the same thing, because when you're disciplined, whatever you do the most is what compounds in your life. I could see it. I could tell. There's a lot of things you could tell by looking at a person, talking with a person, getting to know a person. Why would I not give a shot to a person that makes $70,000 a year? I could put you on. Hell, I could even hire you. Come on, let's work together. We could do all of that. But as far as my man, because this is the thing, I refuse to give into a life where I start to feel like I can't have it all.
That's where the insatiableness and the gluttony, because if you already have it all, why do you need a man to give you more? Like, that's the part of the conversation that I just cannot fully understand.
Okay.
She's all of those things. She has all of those accolades, but she's single. It's like, why? and maybe I'm tripping, but to hear these men on the panel talk like that is insane. That shit just sound crazy as hell, especially for fam when he was like, "Yeah, me, yeah, that was me." Like, bro, what, man? Come on, man. Come on, man. What are we doing? Like,
So, what do you think he meant by that? What do you think he was just talking about? Like, yeah, I was one of the people who was rejected, who they walked
He's
past.
an average guy, yeah.
yeah.
What's
So
wrong? What's wrong with that? Maybe he was an average guy.
even if
Maybe
he
he,
was,
maybe he had a glow up. Maybe he
I
built himself.
don't think Vince is like him at all.
oh, that shit just sound
It's
that shit
personal.
sounds soft as hell, man. Like I get it,
Like
right?
ever since he was crying on that show, he was.
Like, man, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, if you're an average guy and you're going for a woman that's above average, if that woman likes you, if she's digging you, it doesn't fucking matter how much money you make. On some real shit. These two women that's up there complaining, if they came across the right dude that was making that 70K, they going.
They gonna get that box up.
They gon' wait for the motherfucker to cuff them. So I just keeping it a buck. I think so. If dude knows how to play the game, he plays his role, whatever that may be. She gonna go for it. I mean, I think that's the harsh reality. But the fact of the matter is that I think when we complain about when that complaint is being had, that shit just sound crazy as hell to me, man.
I agree, but I do think that like I think that as a man, like just because you lame don't mean you always got to be lame, and I think like that's why I don't feel bad if I ever call a guy lame, because I'm not saying that you always got to be like this. This is a choice. Most cases, being a lame is a choice. So he brought himself out of that, and he doing
But
whatever
even
he's
then,
doing.
what's wrong with being a lame? You know, if even if you are lame, right? You work a 9 to 5, you come home, you in the crib playing the game. You know, that's what you do in your free time. You just might bag you a chick that's into the same shit, and now y'all two lames together. Now you got a beautiful life together that you're sharing. So
Yeah, if you happy, amazing.
Do you think it was that bad though? I mean, all he was explaining was he was one of those guys that
got overlooked.
did face rejection. Do you feel like it's very different than we voice our gripes that we have in relationships right now today? Is it any different whether it's a personal experience or something that we've overcome from the past, that now that we can obtain that we're better? Like I don't really see a problem with that. I had more of an issue with what homeboy, I guess in the sweat, so I don't know his name, but the other bro that was talking, I had more of an issue with
I
that,
mean,
with
Mike.
how what happened. Oh,
Mike.
Mike. His name Mike. Okay, Mike. I had more of a problem with what Mike was saying because what he was saying was more like codependency. That's what it sounded like to me. It sounded like codependency. And I feel like when you are expecting that much from a woman all the time, it comes in handy and it's great when you have it. But it seems like he needed it. And if you need that from a woman, I think that's a much deeper rooted issue than whatever bro was talking about from being one of the nerds back in the day.
One of the points that I saw that she made that I wanted to address was when she said, because I like when she said, I think women should rate themselves, but I didn't know that she was saying rate themselves to themselves. Because like when she started talking about, oh, I've done this, I've done that. That's why I tell women to rate themselves, because I've done. Who said that was valued on the scale? Like everything that you're talking about. I don't. So I think that she's back to like that one took her back to like delusional of like, oh, you gotta rate your scale based on how men in the market view you, right? Like you need to ask a man, like, okay, she's attractive for her age, she's nice looking, like, but what are the other things that men are looking for? Not just you telling yourself that you put in work doing this and that and the third, like, I don't know.
Trev, I think I got a different perspective when it came to the guy that was talking. And I think I get where you pulling that from. If you generally because you real observant, so you're pulling from looking at the personality type and making. I'm not trying to, because we just talking about the argument, right? The guy you was talking about was making a claim that sounded codependent. I don't think it was. I think he was speaking to the value of a relationship, but the way he may come off sometimes seems like he might need it a little bit more for other reasons. Is that a fair statement? Trev?
Yeah, you're not completely off the mark, but
Okay.
I could have sworn he said he needed it, right? And that's another thing. So and I get it, because those traits are absolutely valuable and appreciated, and I do believe that most men should want that, but I think it becomes a problem when you need it. And I kind of got that from him, where he really, really, you know what I mean, needed that. Like, and I get it, but as men, it's not always there for us. And to be a normally functioning man, you can't expect it. It's great if you got it, but we can't operate as if that's automatically.
Do you need your wife?
No.
I want to. I operate like I do. Need my woman.
And that's you know what I'm saying. And
I want to believe in fairy tales. I prefer to operate.
That may sound weird to some people, but okay. I want you to name something that that I would need, that I can't.
I would say the support. I mean, we all can admit and agree to that we come across tough times, and I think to the point that he was saying, I'm assuming he may have encountered an extremely tough time where he didn't feel like he had any support. So I'm sure that all of us men on the panel that is in a serious relationship, married, whatever the case may be, if you got a solid stand-up woman that's next to you, that's supporting you, that's rubbing your back, you know what I'm saying? Hey, daddy, you got this, that whole shebang, nigga, you feel like you can take over the world, compared to not having anyone in your back, in your corner. Now you in the corner by yourself trying to figure it out. Some men can figure it out, absolutely. But to have that support, that's a whole nother thing. So
I'm a very specific question though.
I'm gonna say I do need the first call from jail. I'm calling my wife. My alibi gonna be my wife. When I'm trying to run to the store, I need her to watch these kids. When I won't eat some days if she don't cook, because I just know she gonna bring the food. If she'll wake up in the middle of the night like, damn,
so
I didn't.
So let me ask you this: all those things that you mentioned, if she don't do it for you, is it gonna happen or no? Like, if you go to jail right now, do you have another contact in your phone that's gonna work and probably able to finagle you out of there?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
so that's the difference between a want and a need, right? And that's what I'm saying comes in handy. It's great to have. A need is something that I can't do without. I need oxygen.
Do you need your wife for your kids?
It's great to have, but no. How many times on this panel have we said that single fathers have similar results to dual parent households? So no. Keep going.
Yeah, I disagree. I think I need my wife.
But I think
no, you want to need your wife, and I like that, because I want to need my woman too. But he's asked a very specific question, and as an intellectual, like, I would be being intellectually dishonest if I processed it and said I actually do need her. All of these things we can get through on our own. We'll survive. We'll get through them because of the society that we live in. I think women need men a little, but we need them to have babies and stuff like that. But outside of those things in a modern society, it's like we can do everything ourselves. But I like fairy tales. I want to believe in fairy tale love and all that type of stuff. So I do it. But he's asking a genuine question.
Are you saying need? Are you using the word need? Like, if I need water. If I don't drink water within 48 hours, I die. And if I don't die from something, I don't need it. No, I'm saying, like, how you use a need is maybe that's where I'm throwing off. Because
when I say need, meaning essential to survive, essential to accomplish a specific task, essential. like you need, right? Can it be done without them? That's when I say need, I mean, can it be done
He
without them,
means the
or it's an
definition of the
alternative?
word need, Marcus. Well, you know what need mean.
Yeah, but I think because if you're using the actual definition, then it's food, air, and water, right? Those are the needs. I think what the guy in the clip was trying to convey is that if I didn't have her at that particular time, the struggle would have been extremely painful. And it's not that he needs, right? But in order to avoid a deeper level of pain, he needed her to help him get through. And I can attest to that. I've gone through that this year.
Well, I
Right?
think
I
certain
think
men. Oh, go ahead.
I think the other part of it as well that I think we might be overlooking is the fact that if you are married, right, and you plan to spend the rest of your life with this person, why would I want to spend my life with this person if I feel like I don't need them?
Because you want
To
them.
me, that to me sounds crazy. Like if I'm going to wake up and choose you every single day through the ups and the downs, I want to feel like, okay, I need this person in my corner because I feel better or more complete, or I feel that I can achieve whatever with this person. Then I think that there should be a healthy level of needing your spouse.
Is
Trev, I
there a
got you
healthy
right now.
level of
Trev, I got you.
needing?
Listen to this logic. Do we have a need to procreate?
All right. Now
At a
look,
biological level, do we have a need to
the
procreate?
the answer is no, but unless you put a qualifier behind it. The answer is no. I do not need to procreate because many people don't procreate. Nothing happens. So if you put a qualifier behind it, if you say for society to continue or something like that, then yes, absolutely. For society to continue, we do need to procreate. But if without a qualifier,
for a
no.
standard of life that's worth living and appreciating, do you need your wife
That
and your
was way
family?
too subjective, bro. You got to go with some objective statement.
How many people believe in the
You said
Bible here?
standard of life that could be appreciated. That's highly
For you
subjective.
specifically, yeah.
For
But I'm
me,
asking you, yes.
yeah, for that procreation, yeah, for sure, yeah.
All right.
And
If your wife and kids was trapped in a building and you had to run in and save them, knowing you was gonna die, would you go do it?
absolutely.
So you would give up your life for the people you need.
In the name,
No, that's his job, regardless if you need him or not.
no, just in the name of duty. In the name of duty.
It's not an emotional decision. It's just it
Yeah,
is what
no,
it is.
that's
You
not
have
an
to.
emotional response. That's just duty. I could be mad as hell at the motherfuckers and be like, you know what, man, I'm gonna go ahead and do that anyway, because that's my job. That's what I'm supposed to do. My purpose.
How many of the people here believe in the Adam and Eve story? You know, like God, religion.
Yeah.
And so you believe that women are God's gift to men.
Yeah.
Okay.
Believe
So
that they're God's helpmate to men.
I mean,
I thought
that was a gift to him. Yeah.
I think I choose to believe that women are. I don't even believe in the Bible and all that, but I choose to believe that women are God's gift to men. And I think that if women actually operated out of that, they would have a better life. And I think if men, vice versa. I think if women believed that they were God's gift to men, they would act differently.
Who said I need to nut?
Yeah.
No.
Who said that? Who said that last week?
that was between Willie and Trick Daddy.
Who the hell is Trick Daddy?
What?
real dope was Trick Daddy last week.
What I do last week?
No, but even if we're going off of scripture, right?
Don't God give you what you need more?
God said that man shouldn't be alone for a reason. I think that a huge part of that was because he understood that One, of course, isolation and loneliness and the impact that that has, but also, again, what she was given as a helpmate to help him achieve whatever goal it was that was set in front of him. So yeah, I think that that is God's gift to man. At the same time, I understand that in the same story of Adam and Eve, it teaches us that that same gift can be your downfall. So it's all in, of course, how you choose, and most importantly, how you lead, as to what your outcome may be in that situation.
Personal experience for this year, I lost my job, right? Like I said, me and my wife been married for 10 years. As I sit right here in this chair that I'm sitting in, and I was telling my wife, I want to be a full-time coach, full-time life coach. I'm not going to go work for somebody else. I want to do it. And she gave me the Dark Knight reference. She was like, okay, cool. Then you got to make the jump, but you got to do it without the rope. Right. That was the moment that my doubt and uncertainty just completely dissipated. Right. And it's not that I couldn't have made that decision without her, but having her support, her presence, knowing that I'm not in this shit by myself, that's a major boost. That's a major boost to a man. So need is such a strong word, but you know, a good woman's presence is very powerful in a man's life.
I agree with that. And those things, and because when we hear need, it's like you would have figured it out regardless. You know, you lost your job, you'd have figured it out. You ain't about to
Right.
die. You gonna figure it out. You gonna get back on your feet.
Right.
And you know, it all depends on, have you cultivated relationships with close friends? Because you could have done that to not necessarily fully fill that need, but like in terms of like support, or you know, a network and things like that for when you lose your job. These are things that you could have done also. But I still do agree with you guys, like, about how powerful having that partner can be, you know, to go through life with.
Yeah, I'm on that too. And again, it doesn't. My bad.
I just personally feel like all of you guys are on point in the space, especially Trev. And shout out to Viz believing in the Bible in the space of Adam and Eve. But I just definitely think that a woman is an additional aspect to you, and men choosing the right woman for you. I think that we were designed to definitely only be a helpmate. And shout out to Chels and his situation and his supportive wife, because definitely it's all about the diligence of a man. You guys were here first. You guys can survive. I think that we're just completely supposed to be found as a wife. And a lot of us aren't found as wives, where we could be the gift or the curse to you guys and be the breaking point of you. And so that's why I feel like, I just feel like Black men are just chosen anyway in the space of, humanity, and the space of strength of what God sees as his creation and designed of him. And so in the work of him, it's like, choose a wife. And he tells you guys over and over, place her in value, because he wants you to stay diligent. And the only way to place her in value is to fight temptations. And so, okay, he'll create something to tempt you, to see how strong you can be, to feel, to your manpower. Like, he wants to build that up in you guys. So I just feel like we are just definitely here to help you, and a lot more women need to just get on that level of balancing and finding that in themselves, especially single women, to be found as wives. But yeah, you guys don't need us at all. But thank you, Real Dope Daddy, for wanting to need your wife, and making her feel that. But I want to be wanted and needed. But in the aspect of, can you survive without me? I want that. Can you survive without me? I want a man that I find that can survive without anybody but himself and God. So shout out to you guys, all of you.
So I believe that it's a necessity to push my genes into the next generation, and I do not know how to have a baby by myself. So thus, I need the woman to have these kids.
True. If that's what you believe
You
that
need
makes
a
sense.
woman, not your woman, though. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the
Facts.
point we're missing. So that's the main thing. You need a woman, but you don't need her per se. And maybe this is just stemmed on me always having do a lot of shit by myself. I'm used to figuring out shit by myself. I've been forced to. A lot of people would not help me in the beginning. Fortunately, now I ran into some real cool dudes who willing to network and not gatekeep and be cool and all of that shit. But my entire life was pretty rough. I had to learn shit the hard way. But I believe that struggle builds character. I'm appreciative for it. The rough path that I have can help me help people avoid that. Right, I can tell you the ways to make your life easier. I've learned a lot of things. It gave me so many different skill sets that it's helped me today. Like I do all my own editing, I do all my own filming, I do all my own production, I know how to write scripts. And every single thing that I do, I learn how to break a computer down, broken cars down, I put turbos on cars, tuned them. I know how to do some light plumbing, electric shit. Anything that I would just figure it out. And a lot of men on here do that. But I'm used to doing it like dolo. I will find a way to lift shit that two people are supposed to do by myself just because I just got to get it done. There ain't no not doing. It's figuring out how to do it. Now, I do believe a woman is a lovely addition. It doesn't mean that I'm not grateful for anyone that's in my life, but I do believe in being self-sufficient because nothing is guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed.
Well, I think Trev and you made a great point because I'm in alignment with that. I'm in agreement with that. For me, since day one, I if I ask somebody, man, can you do this, and they can't do it, or they don't want to do it, or they flake on me, whatever, I'm gonna figure out how the fuck to do it myself. But as I matured, I understood more that the value of having a team to where you can scale it. So in that situation, to scale it, you need someone there with you. Yeah, we can do everything by ourselves. Absolutely. I can do just like you said. You can shoot, you can edit it, you can set up the lighting, the mic, all that shit. You can do everything. But once you get to that big set where you got a $23 million budget, no, why would you want to do it by yourself? And I think that's as I gotten older and matured, especially in business, that whole mentality of being self-made, of I got it out the mud by myself. I think that's more of a disservice to our communities and our other brothers compared to us coming together and figuring this shit out. How can we make this that much more better as a team? You know what I'm saying? How can we all eight of us on this panel right now make sure that our families is straight because we decided to work together? That's
So
what
Viz, this is a teamwork effort all on its own, right? And remember what I said. People would not fuck with me. That's why I had to learn how to do everything on my own. It's not that I didn't try, it's that they wouldn't fuck with me. So I had to learn on my own to get better. I've met a lot of gatekeepers. I've met a lot of weirdos who just was not down with shit for whatever reason. So I had to learn by myself. I do network with people now. Remember, I said that part as well as an adult, and I do see the importance of it. And anybody who I could put on into a position, no matter what field that it is that I am familiar with, if I am more knowledgeable about it than you are, then I'm for it. I'm gonna put you on, and I believe in networking. And anybody who tries to collab with me or work with me on anything that I'm proficient and you proficient, and we could come together and make it better. Pause. I'm definitely with the shits. That's just what it is. I'm going to do that. So I absolutely believe in it, and I understand the importance of networking, fellowship, brotherhood, all that stuff. But at the same time, it's still great to know how to do it on your own in the event you have to.
I liked today I talked to a friend of mine and he just got off a trip and he was like, man, he was talking about this trip. It was draining. It was really draining. Family trip. It was a cruise, I believe it was. It was a lot for him. I never been on one, so I can't speak to him. But I was like, man, and he was like, yeah, I'm just so drained. But I'm stuck between going to get something to eat, but I'm drained, or cooking, and I'm not doing either. And I said, well, that's why you need a woman. He said, you never lied. I sure do. I need a woman so bad. And that just made my heart smile. I'm like, look, there, I was waiting on for him to push back, and he didn't. He did not. He was like, I do. You right. I do. And that makes me happy. There's still some men out there that really enjoy like foundationally with a woman. Like I'm just tired of hearing, and it's not on this panel, but so many men, you guys have no idea. Like I'm outside, and these men really don't want us. Like it's overwhelming just to even hear the amount of men that really don't have the mental capacity to foundationally build anymore with a woman. And it's at a rapid number. Like it's not even funny. Like to hear a man today say, and he's really a great guy. So to hear him say, like, no, I want a woman, I'm like, oh wow, yay. Like, cool. So yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the things to kind of factor in is it's all about people's experience too. Like a lot of people don't realize that they actually would like it because they never experienced it. Thinking about the times that I think in college, the first time I experienced it, I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't like it, and it was with anyhow. She made some tacos, and she had everything, everything you can imagine, and kept asking me if I need. Is there anything else you need? You need this. You need. I said I don't need nothing else. I'm okay. Stop asking me because I just wasn't used to it. I'm just like this. It was so strange, and when I look back at that, I'm like, okay, so that's what that was. It was just like, do you need any tea? Do you just kept asking me if I need something? And it's just so foreign to me. So I don't think a lot of people know what that feels like because they never experienced it. And then when you get older and us having these conversations, you're able to kind of pinpoint it. But even the men on the panel, we're probably ones that probably experienced it, but there's still a lot of men out there that still don't know what it looked like. They've been hurt by women, disrespected. They don't get the respect. And so that's where that anger probably comes from, that frustration, because they probably see other people getting it, and especially with social media. It looks like they're happy, they're hearing stories, but they don't know how to get those results. So that's why you kind of get that bitterness and that anger when it comes to men a lot of times.
I don't hear that in men more than I hear, I'm just trying to get my money up. I think that it's just and I seen someone in comments mention Atlanta. Yes, I'm in Atlanta, and I think it's that. I think that, men come here to restart their lives, typically if they're not from here. And I'm meeting those men. They're excited. They're happy. They they're not angry. They're just they'll just go out. And again, there's a lot of women here. So they just don't have to commit. There's no need for them to have to. Um, I don't know what umph got to be put into their back, but it's they're just on their own focus, on their own grind, on their own podcasting, on their own jobs, on their own gyms memberships, and going to the gym and hookah nights and cigar bars and stuff like that. They're just happy being single.
What
I
age
got a
range?
question. I got a question. What criticisms do we have for men who take that position as women take sometimes, where it's like, I don't want kids. I just want to worry about my career, and I'll think about that later. Like, I don't want this. I don't want that. I just want to have fun. I want to travel. All these other type of things. What criticisms do we have for men?
You said from men or
From
for?
men or for
For
Yeah,
women?
I
men.
mean, just flip it. Yeah, like he's 40. He just want to focus on his career. He don't have any kids. Not focus on
Yeah.
marriage.
Yeah, I think on both sides of the spectrum is that if that's what you want to do, then that's by all means do what you want to do. My only pushback in situations like that is when people complain about it, when that's a choice that you're willingly making. So if you're willingly making that choice, then don't be out here complaining about men or women in the dating field, because that's not a focus of yours.
Do you? So you don't think that 'cause it's my personal belief, and y'all might change my mind. I think that I think everybody has a responsibility to procreate. You know, even though we live in a modern society, so you really don't have to do it. But I feel like if you're here, like like we got birth rates declining and all that type of stuff. But a lot of people feel like, oh, I don't want to have kids. I do think that everyone has a responsibility to at some point. Like if you and your woman die, you'll just took two people off the earth, put two back.
Hell
Bro,
no.
it's worse than that
Uh,
because in order for you to exist, millions and billions and all type of shit had to align. 300-400 million years, all of these had to get to this point where this version of you exists in this reality, unless you believe in string theory or some type of theoretical physics or time travel. If you look at it alone, like the genealogical expression that happens through our life, we are a miracle. We are a miracle in essence, and we are a long line of whatever led us to this that might be necessary down somewhere far down the line for the fate of human survival. Like some of it, like
Right?
the gene.
You
The
thinking
gene
on
is
lines of like the butterfly effect?
yeah, like
Kinda?
kind of, and maybe that's where I'm stuck on the need thing because, like when I think of need, I'm saying if my father didn't need my mom, I don't exist. If I don't need my wife, my kids don't exist. If I had a different type of a woman, when the guys got booked for a murder, I would have been with them in the car. I think I talked about this before. Me being able to go home and like, now I'm not hanging out with y'all tonight. That shit saved my life, like on multiple occasions. So maybe my perspective is from a survival like, remember I told you about the guy Ray he fell in love with the girl and she was just so money hungry that she was because he was from foster care, he had never experienced love before, and he fell in love with her, and she was able to like manipulate that and make him just try and go get money and get money and get money till he got to the point where he was damn near suicidal in his attempts to try and get paid and end up getting killed. Like, he needed a different woman. Or no woman or healing. He probably needed healing, but when I kind of think about it, that's what I'm pulling through my life experience. Like, nah, if I wouldn't have been coming home, this is how this
A lot
shit
of
would have
that you're
played
talking
out.
about, that's like intuition, right? I've avoided really bad situations where I know I would have been in a completely different circumstance for far worse than what I am today, just based on me following that gut feeling to not go home. Maybe you went home because you were considering your wife and stuff. I went home because I was considering, nah, fuck that. This ain't gonna turn out right. You know what I'm saying? So if we actually listen to our intuition and don't be as reckless a lot, we would avoid damn near every bad situation.
So like one of the situations, it was some fluke shit. Like I didn't know it was about to. We went out and bought some rats for our snakes. I'm like, man, y'all, Shorty cooked. I'm about to go to the crib. I know I'm gonna have some food at the house. I like home cooked meal more than restaurant food. So he like, all right, shit, I'm about to stay out here. I wake up the next morning, he in jail for a first-degree murder. A random thing just happened. Like random.
That's crazy.
I'm like, damn.
What you saying? So I'm sorry, what's your name? What and White?
And White. Yeah.
And White. I think it's just a matter. I think it's really just linguistics, right? Because what we do is we take shortcuts in language, right? So you'll say, I need my wife, and you're leaving out what it is that you need her for, right? And so that's subjective. That's for you. And so what you're really saying is, or I'll put it on me, right? I could say, in the moment where I lost my job, I needed my wife to support me. The longer part of that sentence is to support me in order to not slip into depression, right? But we don't say that, right? Because a part of that is because we don't really want to come to grips with how bad things could be if my wife isn't there. That's not to say that I wouldn't come out of it and I wouldn't turn it around and be successful at some point and all of that. But the term need, it's a survival word. So it's telling you, it's basically telling you, in order to avoid catastrophe, from my perspective, I need this person or I need this thing. And I think that's where it gets kind of lost in translation. If you go with the exact definition of need, then the list of need of everyone's needs is extremely small.
Right. And that's why
I
I was
agree
talking
with
about
you.
the
And that's why I
qualifiers
asked you in the
earlier,
beginning.
Chess.
But you remember in the beginning I said, all right, maybe I'm using the wrong definition from how y'all describe a need. If you're saying
Only
like
because
you need
you
water
had
in
to
order
add
to
qualifiers.
yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
And
It's just
so
a
I get
matter
it.
of us agreeing on what the definition of need is for the conversation.
Right.
I know for me, even though if we being literal, of course, we don't need women. But I mean, we don't need like a wife or something like that. But I know for me, I feel like my purpose in life is to be a leader. So I tell my woman all the time, like, I need you. Because I'm a leader. That's my natural born leader. I like to create. That's my role. And I feel like I need her. I need a family. So that's my personal belief. If we're not being literal, then yeah.
Yeah, I would have to disagree too with with the kids statement that you made too, Marcus. I don't think that everyone should procreate even if they can. We see too many situations of where of course, where men and women don't take care of their kids, they abandon them, whatever the case may be. There was just a case in somewhere, I forgot where, but this young lady
With the
deleted
two
two
kids.
kids and had them, in the trunk riding around with them. So yeah, no, we see way too many situations to where people will have children and they have no value to them. Even to you mentioning the young lady, or I think Trey or whoever mentioned it, but the young lady having 8 of deletions, like that's ridiculous because it's people out here that wish they can just have one, and here it is, you done had 8 of them, and you done asked them all out. So no, I don't think that everyone needs to do that. Some gene pools need to be wiped off the planet, and that's just what happens in nature.
Careful
So
what you
yeah,
say, bro. It's like,
I agree that does happen in nature. I just think it should be like if you're unable to have kids, then no, XYZ. If you like believe God told you to be fruitful and multiply, I don't see how. Once they get here, you're supposed to do a whole lot. I get it that some people don't, but they can get taken from that person, like somebody like Stephen Hawkins or something, right? If the parents probably, if you know what I'm saying, we're gonna delete him because of his conditions, not knowing that this is a prolific mind that could advance the human species 40 years based on the research that he's going to do from that chair appearing to be disabled. Sometimes we don't, that's what I was saying about, we don't know what our genealogical expression could end up being and how that can affect society positively or negatively. The only thing that we do know is that all of these intricate things had to happen for us to exist in this timeline. And I don't know, I feel like people survived slavery, people survived prehistoric times, people survived, like we survived all of these things to get to this point. And then we'd be like, you know what? I don't like the way the other people treat me. I don't think I should have kids. That just sounds crazy to me because all the things we had to fight lions, tigers, and bears. We had to sleep outside. We had to do all of this shit. But the moment you can't send somebody to a private school, now you don't want to have kids. To me, it sounds crazy. Maybe
so
I'm
Marcus,
wrong.
check
But
this out.
the perspective I'm coming from.
Though. I feel like so let's just say when people do a psychological profile on someone, right? They generally look into their parents and stuff like that. There's meaning behind that, right? So what's happening is What you're describing, I know I'm familiar with that story, but it's an outlier, right? People you can, just like how you can generally tell when you look at a dude and the chick or that relationship gonna fail. You tell them you can't look at them too and be like, that parenthood's gonna fail. You know what I'm saying? It's the same premise where it's like, all right, they're probably gonna fail just based on the likelihood. There's always outliers, but there's always a likelihood. And people who say they don't want to have children, I think should not have children. I don't think that they should be part of the process because they obviously are not going to put the work in necessary to mind a child the way that they should. And I'm not saying that you don't deserve when you deserve it, and we should start putting in prerequisites or whatever, but we shouldn't convince people who don't want to have children to have children. If you don't want to, great, don't.
Let's broaden the discussion. If there was a point in time where you were guaranteed you were going to be able to eat every day and have fire, that's all you needed, and you were successfully you successfully did what you were supposed to do for your gene pool. You got them food and enough warmth that they didn't die of cholera or pneumonia or something crazy like that. We're in a space where you got unlimited entertainment at your fingertips, unlimited food. Like if you go outside, you could down there beg and live your entire life eating food off the ground. Even though we're not in a hunter-gatherer space, the way we've accumulated resources and the ability for people to survive is not what people saying they don't want to have kids behind. They saying it because of a standard of life that the standard of life of the poorest person today is higher than the standard of life of a king 200, 300, 400 years ago, without question.
No.
Oh my God.
No.
So you saying right now a poor person does not have a higher standard than a king and queen 400 years ago?
Yeah, yes, I'm saying that.
It depends on what.
Well, if you consider a higher, if you consider
go to the doctor,
you gotta think we had pyramids.
Did they have electricity?
No, I don't think so.
Did they have running water?
Yes.
Talking about pyramids.
Did they have all right? Well, did they have running water?
Yes.
Consistently. Did they have hot running water?
Yes. Oh, hot. I don't know about hot.
Yeah.
They had fire. They had fire 300 years ago.
Did they have plumbing systems?
Probably.
I don't think so. Did they have?
If you look at some of the sophistication of
if we talking 300 years ago, I would think so.
Did they have on-demand entertainment?
Yeah.
No.
Y'all niggas, they made y'all dance.
The jesters.
Yeah, they made us do.
Well, yeah, no, there was always like people.
No 500 years. You know the point I'm trying to make. Maybe.
Let's go he trolling.
Yeah, let's go 1,000 years. 1,000 years ago, did you have? Do we live better than the kings?
No, but realistically though, I think like when you look at somebody like, let's say Mansa Musa, I don't know when he lived or whatever. These people, as a man, all you really need the if you got on-demand pussy when you want it, that's better than having just fucking light
internet,
like,
or
it's better than having light in the PlayStation. Like.
Hell no, bro.
That's
unlimited.
You can hit anything that you want when you want. You like, yo, come here. She draped in gold and everything you want to put on her. You got people giving her a bath for you. Yo, wipe my shorty down. I'm about to like what? Come on now, nah.
But you have to be in a certain position to even be able to tell somebody else to do that though.
He said king.
Oh, okay. I
thought talking about kings, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It say in the 16th and 17th century that they didn't have plumbing and closed sewage plumbing systems, and that we didn't get the plumbing that we have to the 19th century. They did not have electric lights and all of this shit that they could just come on, bro. You remember the light filament wasn't. Come on now.
You don't need light if you just go to sleep. Just go to sleep. Go to sleep outside.
They definitely had candles and fire and shit. It was bright enough. They had fire and candles.
And oil. Yeah, they were still able to get light. But I know what you're saying.
If you took a king from the 1500s and brought him to your studio apartment, that nigga would be impressed. True.
And you put him in a shelter. You take a king, you put him in a shelter. No, he can't tell nobody what to do.
But real quick though, hold on. I think M. White, you making a good point though, but I think we don't have the full grasp of what you're saying, which is, it sounds like you're saying you think people who don't want to have kids are selfish, because if everybody chose to make that decision, it would be the end of the human race.
That makes sense.
Yes, and it on the individual level, it's the end of a genealogical expression.
Right.
Because the magic of who we are and that exists within each one of us, good, bad, or indifferent, it's a special genetic code. That code may have secrets that we potentially could use in the future. Or you might give, like, LeBron mom aborts him. We never get a LeBron, right? I'm using Stephen Hawkins. You abort Stephen Hawkins, we never get a Stephen Hawkins. We never get Nikola Tesla. We never get the Morse explorer. If we make decisions to end gene pools based off of convenience, people have struggled to get to this point, was my thing. And I'm saying we have a standard of life that's greater than those people in the past. I know for a fact that my lineage, slavery occurred. They survived all the way into this point. For me to be like, man, fuck these bitches, they don't click right on me on Tinder, so I'm not gonna have kids. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, and what?
Get the fuck out.
And what? When you use examples like Stephen Hawkins and the advancing humans, one of the perspectives is, at least my perspective is, that's not necessarily good advancing humans. The more we advance, like, this is the beginning of the end. We have AI right now. Like, we all know that, like we're sitting down, we're not outside, being active. Like after a certain point, it's like, oh, we're just getting worse with the more the more we advance, the more we get away from being human.
That's a tangent. So that argument can be made, fair enough. But the other argument could be made that with the invention of the atom bomb, which is extremely, we get nuclear power supplies, which can create modernization for entire states or communities, which then can create the next thing. Like,
modernization is the beginning of the end for human beings.
I mean, but that's the inevitable, though, I think.
Is it? We couldn't have just picked the spot and be like, you know what, we got fire, we got this, we could.
Hell no, we're that's not what we were made to do. The fact that we are the fact that we did advance the way that we did is the very proof of that, right? Even if we do use Marcus's example, the fact that we were once at one point, you had to go and walk to the watering hole to get the water and then come back a 3-mile walk, compared to now.
A healthy nigga, right? Back then.
Compared to now. Wait, what'd you say?
You'd have been a healthy nigga.
Man, his point is that
compared to now, you going and just being able to just hit a switch and the water come up, cut on. Shit, you get not even hit the switch. You just wave your hand past it and the water cut on. The fact that we're to that extent, that alone speaks to itself. Now, I will say to Marcus's point, even if Tesla's mother did delete him, or LeBron's mother deleted him, I think that we still would have got a LeBron. It just would have been a JR. Or
no, how do we know that genealogical expression occurs?
What you mean? I think that that's more. I don't think that that's necessarily something that's placed in that gene. I think that that's more so.
That man is a genealogical expression of a freak of nature. I take.
I'm pretty sure there's multiple people that have the same frame and structure as LeBron out there that has just never been found.
But like, if you look up, if you look up the chances of any one of us being born, like the version of me that exists, the version of you that exists, it's 1 in 400 trillion. So the idea that you would end up with another LeBron, you would have to. That's 1 in 800 trillion. So
I think what he's saying
it's
a number that's
it's not likely.
I think
how isn't it? I don't understand how it's not likely, because there was a LeBron 50 years ago.
There's never been a LeBron ever.
No,
in the history
So
in
with
the
Viz,
history, in the
I
history
think
of
with Viz
basketball,
is
there's never been a LeBron.
what is so miraculous about LeBron?
I
What do
think
we?
with
So
Viz
wait,
is
we don't have to get into all of like the saying his.
Well, no, we have to because you
No, we
said
don't.
that
So
there's
like
never
answer your
been.
question. I'll tell you why we don't. Because the problem with when you say stuff like that, man, is it's like you misunderstand like individual uniqueness, like the genetics, the circumstances, and everything that shapes a person. And all of those things matter. If LeBron's mom had aborted him, she wouldn't have been the next kid she had, or she may not have had another kid. So like all of these things come to the chance. And then you have to just remember, like LeBron James is not like he's just not a basketball player. He's a single individual created by a unique set of circumstances, both genetic, both environmental. So you can't replace a person with an idea of a person, and to do so is erase the irreplaceable human history of said person. The problem that I have with that when you say stuff like this, or with this type of logic, is that if it wasn't for LeBron, there's no LeBron. LeBron wouldn't even be a thing. If LeBron hadn't come around, the second best player in the world still be Kobe Bryant. If LeBron hadn't come around, the first highest scoring basketball player still be Dr. J. The problem that is what happens is when you try to say it's like the butterfly effect. If she aborts LeBron, it's not going to. There's no ripple that makes her say, okay, well, this next kid can have it. Because again, how many women have a baby by a guy they're not with that's already abandoned them, but they have a second baby with them? So they abort the first baby and then they go back and have a second baby with that person. I would say never. And I'm not even one to give women a lot of credit, but I don't think that any women are that stupid. So to say that, well, there would have been another one. The closest thing we've seen to LeBron since LeBron has been in the league was Derrick Rose when he got hurt, but he was the point guard.
No,
now maybe Anthony Edwards with his athleticism, but as an all-around player, we haven't seen anything like LeBron in the history of the game.
Willie, those were bad comps.
Before we go down the basketball conversation,
Tell Willie those was bad comps.
How?
Yeah,
those were bad comps.
How?
You said Derrick Rose and Anthony Edwards. Those are bad comps.
Derrick Rose came in the league. What are we talking about right now?
Those are bad comps to LeBron. The games are different.
We're talking about we can't say like there's a D Rose, and we can't say there's not an Anthony Edwards, and then what comes with those guys, right? Where their explosivity and their athleticism. Anthony Edwards is probably one of the most athletic players in the league right now. That's why I use the comp.
Yeah,
that's
but
that's what LeBron was known for. Being an athletic freak.
That's not what makes LeBron LeBron. There's been more athletic people than him before.
Who? Okay,
Who's
real quick. Even Stephen A. Smith, who is a overt now LeBron hater, says he's the most athletic basketball player ever.
He's right,
and that's over Jordan.
I'm saying no. There and Marcus, I know you probably know who it is. I think he's from Chicago, but there was a guy that was expected to be the next Jordan, but he got into.
I remember him.
I think he got shot or something like that.
Ronnie Fields, yeah,
Ronnie Fields. His career. So I understand what y'all saying, and I'm not taking it.
Yeah, Lenny Cook. You talking about Lenny Cook?
Whoever it is,
I'm friends
I
with
understand
Lenny.
what y'all saying, and I'm not taking away from that point that you're making. But the truth of the matter is that the same way that just how you said Dr. J led, and then we had Larry and Magic, and then we had Mike. It's always going to be a progression of some point, of some extent, of where we are going to see someone that is going to be greater than what was output before. This is why I didn't want to go down the basketball loophole, because it's taken away from the point that me and Willie is touching on. What we're talking about is the expression, the DNA, the haplogroups that create an individual unique identity. And the social environment to factors come together to create this specific person. With an Einstein, with a Nikola Tesla, with George Washington Carver, with people who create things that modernize or revolutionize the world for the better. He was, come to think of it, his gene pool was cut short because they what is it called when they cut your balls off so you can't have kids?
You got a vasectomy.
Vasectomy.
It wasn't a vasectomy though. They did the
no. You talking about castrated?
They castrated him.
Oh, they cut his balls off.
Bro, can you imagine what maybe his mental bloodline could have like?
Well, who got castrated?
And what because I agree with this, and I understand the points that you guys are making. However, I think that if you're going to use use the environmental let me start here. There's definitely men out here who are built like LeBron and probably have LeBron's athleticism and his height who just don't play basketball. And I think when you make the argument that if the argument is based on genetics, those genetics have to be around here. We've all probably seen people before. We like, yo, this nigga can hoop. He don't play in the league. Like, and it's other factors that keep him from playing in the league. We know like these things happen all the time. You can look at
You're
Beasley.
isolating. You're isolating it to basketball.
Yeah,
Please
but
take it off.
we'll take it. We'll use anything, right? For example, I went to a family reunion a couple weeks ago, and when I had a cousin, he was a little bit taller than me. He's about 6'5", 6'6", right? Skinny though, little skinny. I shook his hand. I'm like, "What's up, cuz?" Nigga, hands was twice the size of my hands, and they felt like rocks. I'm like, dang, cuz you don't box. Like he just worked. He just worked. But his hands was like, you ever seen Tommy Hearn's hands? There was like Tommy Hearn's hands. They just was huge hands that he was meant to be a fighter. However, he never got put into fighting. So we're having a genetic conversation. I think I agree with Viz. Now, if we're having a conversation about environmental factors and everything working perfectly, I don't really think that we can. I don't even think that's realistic to have that conversation because, let's say, if somebody's gene pool is cut off, they're not supposed to be here anyway. That's the same argument. Like they're not supposed to be here. Like if that didn't happen in the past, we can't have a dream conversation about what if we can't have the what if LeBron wasn't here. If that's what I'm saying.
No, so
But the thing is that it's each individual is absolutely unequivocally unique.
Unique,
right?
yes.
Right. So it's not a question of whether or not someone would come along and have a similar build or be able to achieve similar things or create certain things. That's not what he's saying. What he's saying is you could use any of us and replace LeBron in the conversation. Once we're gone, there will never be another exact replica of each one of us. It's over. It's a wrap. Now you could sit cloning aside, right?
Yeah.
There will never be another one of us. And what he's saying is that everything that has the potentiality of existing should have that opportunity, considering we play a role in pushing that outcome into existence.
Exactly. I didn't want to go start talking about string theory and take us down to further loops. So I'm glad you compressed it, man. So
but even shows, even your argument with that everything should have the opportunity to exist. That's the thing is just because you're born doesn't mean that your environmental factors won't take you off of this earth.
Yeah,
right?
but the fact that you were born means that you had, and I'm making it based off M. White's premise. Even the fact that you were born to have the environment have that effect on you doesn't change the fact that you existed, and for the time that you existed, that was the only moment that particular entity will exist. That's it. There's not another one coming. There was not one before, and there won't be one after.
I'm pretty sure like we probably aborted kids that had its own genetic code. Like there's people out here who we don't.
Yeah, we did. Yes, we did.
People,
we did, but they're never coming back.
Yeah, but if you're making the point that you had this, just because somebody had a baby, and let's say the baby passed away before it turned a certain age, you're saying like, oh, it's amazing because you had your own unique genetic code. We don't care about people that much. We don't care about random people like that.
That's perceived value, right? So some people might think it's almost like holding sentimental value. Some will appreciate it, some won't. So you might, and I get it though, because it is your own unique code, and that's your lineage, and it's your opportunity to do it. So I understand that argument. But then there's the other side of it where some people say, okay, so there's still more people. You know what I mean? Not everybody's going to care about that because we all have our own unique genetic code, even people who were considered to be worthless, right?
Right.
And I don't like to call anybody that, but some people, let's just say you're really like you got some Danny DeVito genes or some shit, like you short, fat, bald, everything.
Caught a
Like,
stray.
let's just
he minding his business right now.
Let's just say that happened to you, right?
Right.
You're like, damn, parents might be mad as hell, like, damn, we don't fuck the game up with this one. But it is what it is. Some people may not value that, but some people may say, you know what, man, this guy was one of the greatest actors ever. He got to an elite level, right? So it's just one of them things, like, it's subjective. You can either appreciate it or not appreciate it, but I can understand each side of it.
And I agree with you, but the premise of what M. White is saying, though, is if everybody made that decision, then the humanity itself ends, right? But if everyone makes the opposite decision, then we just go as far as we can possibly go until circumstances beyond our control
until we're overpopulated at some point, right?
We could be, but if you, some people say we're overpopulated.
There's
now,
only enough resources. There's only so many resources.
Right, but if we're comparing the extremes, would you rather be overpopulated or extinct?
Well, I don't
think that there has to be. It doesn't have to be an extreme side. It could be somewhere where there's a balance, right? Like everything else we try to do in life is a balance. So initially, when we started this premise, we were talking about some people probably shouldn't be parents, and I agree with that. Some people probably shouldn't be parents. Now, I'm not with taking rights away from people, but again, the people who shouldn't be parents are people who are going to neglect their children, create degenerates, and just ignore them, right? I think that if you are not willing to take care of your children the way that they should be, and you're going to neglect them, then you probably shouldn't try to be a parent. I think you should leave that to the people who are willing to put the work in.
I think we're doing
For
that thing
evolution's sake.
I think we're doing that thing where we make an argument and we think about the good side but don't think about the bad side. Like it's very possible, like that man over in Germany who was like, doing that to them people. How many more of him will we have? How many more Ted Bundys will we have also next to, we also have LeBrons, more LeBrons. We have more Ted Bundys. We have more of him. We'd have more radical feminists. We'd have more everything. Everybody would be more, we have more good things, more bad things. So, it's like, it's one of those arguments where it's like.
But I think that goes back to my point, is that will eventually happen at some point. Even if we use that man as an example, before him, we can arguably say that Genghis Khan did the same thing. So we had Genghis Khan, and then the one guy that went through Africa and cleared out a bunch of the Africans that they don't talk about, and then we got Hitler. So who is going to come next? This is the inevitable of us just being a human species. There's going to be another Hitler at some point. There's going to be another LeBron. There's going to be another Stephen Hawkins. There's going to be another Elon, another Jeff Bezos. There's going to be another Trump. There's going to be another JR, another Marcus, another Trick Daddy, another Willie. It's going to be another all of us that's on this panel at some point.
Not DJ La Bonita.
But there's going to be another DJ La Bonita.
No, there's not.
It's going to be another.
No.
That's not the argument. He's not. You're so, what you're saying, because I agree with you that
even genetically, because our genes are always.
We all got doppelgangers, they say.
A doppelganger is not genetic.
It's very.
Do you see it?
I'm saying if we just genetically, if we're speaking genetically, right? So what is the vast difference of LeBron genetically from someone that's his exact same size, height, and everything else?
I use LeBron and notable figures throughout history to explain why genealogical variables can create excellence, but we ignore the point where they also can create cures through, like a Henrietta Lacks DNA, or DNA strands that may have a cure for cancer, or DNA strands that may be able to make us all hyper intelligent. Like, it's such a vast array of things that come from these unique individual DNA profiles.
I agree, but we can, but we can, if we're going down the if we go down the rabbit hole, right? If we get into the quantum physics and all the other shit, right? We as humans we can change our genetics.
But with the Henrietta Lacks,
We
how
can't.
do we know nobody else has had her?
We can't change our
DNA?
genes through as we pass on our genes. We can't change our genes.
Gene expression I get what you're trying to say, like epigenetics or something like that. What I'm talking about is the creation of this unique shell.
I'm with you.
I get what you're saying, but all I'm saying is if that was created, then why can't it be created again?
Because
it probably can.
That's something that happens in nature.
It's because you need a specific set of people and actions to occur over time that only happens one time to have this one person come into existence. If one other person, if you take out one of the men and put him in place with another man in that whole chain, then you end up with a different person.
We can clone them now. We can
Well,
clone
I said
everybody.
outside of clones. Right?
Because somebody was born and they created this technology, whatever, they had a part in creating this technology, and then we can do it. Because what NY said, we got the technology now, we can clone people. You know you can clone your dog. If your dog die, you can take his DNA, and it'll cost a lot of money, but you can clone your dog.
It's $850.
That's not approved in the United States, is it?
That still doesn't take away from the original gene expression. It has to be something to clone, and that thing will be unique.
Okay, and even if you do clone something, the experiences, the life that he lived shaped who he was. So that new person, all you're going to have is a person who is a genetic match to that person, not a personality match, not an intellect match, not a character match, or not even sometimes he won't even be one of the he won't even be the same type of person. You just have someone that looks like someone. It will be no different than you having two twins, and one acts like the mom and the other acts like the dad. You're not going to be able to make a 1-for-1 match because they're not able to actually clone the brain, the memories, the education, the skills, all the things that brain has learned and acquired over that thing's lifetime.
How long before we can do that?
Trauma also.
How long before we can do that? Before we can do with Elon Musk? How long before we can download thoughts?
Ain't no telling, but it costs $850,000 to clone a dog. So I'm just not necessarily. I'm not a fan of cloning anything. I don't ever want to be cloned. I don't. When my time is up, my time is up. I'm not trying to live forever. Like shit. If I could last as long as McDonald's hamburger, I'm happy. Like I don't really necessarily want to try to win. I don't think that we need to get into cloning. People. I think we should maybe get into cloning like organs for people, shit like that. But to just dry ass start cloning people, like you saw that there was a Russian billionaire that said he offered LeBron James and Serena Williams $10 billion for them to have a baby and give it to him.
Damn.
That was actually going to be my next point.
10 billion. I might do that.
Even if we look at how different breeds were created, dog breeds, right? They would take a specific breed of a dog, of these two different dogs, and have them mate, and then have them mate the best of that version, mate, and then they make this super genetic being or dog or person that will now be able to impact the society or the world however way that it is. So again, if this is something that we know how to duplicate, then the thought to me that we can't create or another LeBron would not have came along at some point, I think is, I don't think that it, I get the point that y'all try to make, but I think that it doesn't align.
We're not that far from government regulating population.
We already do. And that's the other thing too, right? That's always been a thing. That's
when
always
I say regulating, I mean real regular, like really regulating, like where you can't just go bust down a joint today and knock her up, and that's that.
They're doing that in China, I think, right? You can only have 2 kids or some shit like
Not a
that.
personality match.
Well, that
Not a
one child
personality match,
policy
not a
ruined
character
them years
match,
ago. So
or not
they're
even sometimes
the opposite.
he might even he won't even
Wait,
be
what?
one of the he won't even be the same type. Oh, that ain't me.
It sounded like you.
No, that was me
Somebody
talking, but
play.
it wasn't me playing it. My bad. To be specific.
I thought you had a clone.
I'm like, damn, he
Hey man,
ventriloquist
listen.
out this bitch now.
It's a movie. It's a movie called the
Downloaded Willie already.
Look, it's a movie called The Island. It's about this. Like rich people basically pay for a clone and then swap their memories and brains into the new clone's body so they can keep living. Y'all should check it out. It'll definitely speak to
They're
what we're talking about right
working
now.
on body transplants too.
Hey man, listen. Well, my time is up, G. I'm gone. I don't want to be 600-700 years old, no matter how much money I got. Like
I like to
Killing
be
vampires.
600-700 years old.
nah,
I would.
I don't
I'm
want to watch
excited to
You want
see
to
everybody
come
what the
back
around
as
me.
future's gonna be like.
like you want to come back as a bird or something? Or
No, I don't want to come back at all. I live my life, champ. When my shit is over, it's over. But I don't want to grow that old. I don't ever want to outlive my children. I don't want to grow up seeing everybody around me die. I'm already doing that living now. So I damn sure don't want to see my kids and grandkids die before me. Cause like, you know what I'm saying? They might not be able
Just
to
make them
afford
live
that.
forever too.
Huh?
So just
No,
make them live
that's not how
forever
it
too.
works.
you seen the movie Sinners, right?
I'm cheap. I'm cheap, big dog.
Like
Yeah, the only
You
and
gotta buy.
Sinners is the only way that my kids will live forever because I can turn them into vampires. That's free. But if I gotta go spend, $20-30 million like they did in that movie I just told y'all about. I got a couple kids, bro. That's
You
120
gotta
million right there just on keeping the
buy your own
motherfuckers
one
alive.
ups.
Be like, sit down and have a talk with them. Like one of us living forever. So
Yeah,
that's
raise your hand if you living forever. Hey, now y'all put your hands down. That's how it will go. Like,
I
yeah,
need you
bro.
around for a long time. So y'all.
Can I
Like,
ask y'all, what is a definition of a modern woman?
oh shit.
Okay. Yeah, you can.
Sorry, teachers.
Well, I wouldn't want to be a bird. I had a couple of them fly into my car, so it's
A modern woman is a woman who lives and acts in accordance with modern societal norms, trends, and cultural priorities. So I guess right now you're saying is like a modern woman right now is the shit you see on TV. The women you hear
Yes.
us talking about in these panels. The shit the women you see in these TikTok videos doing all this weird shit, those are modern women.
Also, women who typically operate outside of what we consider to be traditional standards, right? So that's one of the main things too, where they just they're now are working more. Feminism is up, independent, and just the overall demeanor and attitude has changed too. The new download 2.0.
So, in the space of men, right? You said outside of the traditional. Now, that would be different from a 45-year-old man to a 22-year-old man, correct? Tradition?
Um,
Or when
if you're
does
talking
that
about
tradition
perspective,
change? When does that tradition change? You know what I mean? Because like a lot of, I don't know. I think we're
are
all
you are
different
you are
ages.
you saying that my version of a traditional woman would be different than a 20-year-old's version of a traditional woman?
Yeah, like I don't even know that they use that verbiage at 18 and 20.
Well, I
I don't
think
even
our
know that
reference
they
point.
will use that type
I
of
think our reference point would be the Bible. And kind of like slightly a traditional woman is slightly she's mainly in accordance with the tenets of the Bible and like the teachings of the Bible. It doesn't not to a T, but at least the core things like, being modest and being a helpmate, these type of things. I think more so today modern women are view themselves as just as capable as men and to pretty much do what they want, and they don't really have a point of reference or a doctrine that they get their morals from. They just kind of make them up as they go.
Yeah, because the reason I asked is because I can ask my great grandma, and she can say tradition hasn't existed since her generation. So in women, and so I'm sure a lot of you can ask your great grandparents the same thing if they're living, but I think it's a lot different than what my mother's tradition was. I mean, my mom was working. I believe my dad was home more than anything, and my mom was working. So, it's just, I just think tradition is so, I really wanted your guys' individual um, mindsets on that because the average man, versus the traditional, I mean, the modern woman. And would you guys say the video, the last clip JR played, would you say that that woman is an example of a modern day woman that you're talking about?
Absolutely, all of them. Well,
Yeah.
two of them at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cause I
So,
Yeah.
oh, go ahead.
yeah, e- I don't know. I think it's just a fine line between that, but technically, like, I'm good with an average man. I don't know if a man would look at me and call me modern or traditional woman. But I always
You're a
say if I
mix.
could describe me, yeah, exactly. And I'm only a mix because I had to survive. I chose a divorce, right? But trust me, my ex-husband would have taken care of me financially forever. I left. So I chose to be in this position, right? But I'm still the same woman. So the man that gets me today, I'm not going to be no different than how I was raised. I was raised under, Jehovah's Witness. I was raised to be a helpmate. I was
Oh
raised to
well,
be a
that's
wife.
completely different. You know that.
Yeah,
That's
so that's
completely
what I'm
different.
saying. So
Yeah.
it's installed in me. So in the space of, tradition, it's like, yeah, I'm in the modern day. It's 2025. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I live in a high rise. Yeah, I have all hardwood floors. Yeah, I live in Buckhead, Atlanta. Yeah, I make money, but it doesn't mean that, I'm not traditional as hell when I have a man 100% in my foundation, 100%, but it's a fine line between that. I think a lot of these women just show
Well,
modern, but they probably
Labanisa,
have traditional
can I add something to
traits.
that, Labanisa? Should I say something?
Yeah.
I think if you, that's why I said you were like a mix. Because if you were a traditional woman, it doesn't really matter if you have a man or not. You still are, you are who you were, that traditional woman without a man, with a man. You know,
Yeah, but
certain
you
way
were ready to
you
say
raised.
something before you heard what I said. And what I said was, every day I'm still that with or without a man.
I was just going off what you said.
Yeah, well, I'm a mom, so I have to have traditional values in my foundation. If I was raised Jehovah's Witness, that's how my house is raised. My kids don't watch television at a certain time. Like, we shut down. Like, life is very traditional without a man. So when a man comes, it's still that structure. But tradition for me is structure 1,000% foundationally.
I still think you are a mix.
No, I know I'm a mix, but what I'm saying is it doesn't turn on and off. It can't. But I still
No,
live for in the modern society.
So you wouldn't behave differently if you had a man at all?
Well, it depends on what his structure is. So I let a man lead.
All right, so check this out. It's absolutely a frame of mind, right? When we refer to it, we're talking about a modern day mindset because, in essence, every woman who's born after a certain age, and this they're obviously would be considered modern women in that aspect. But when men refer to it in these spaces, for the most part, we're and it sometimes may even sound derogatory, inflammatory, whatever.
Yeah.
We're referring to women who have the mindset of new age women like this that weren't behaving as if they were before. If you grew up as a JW, it's a completely different mind frame. I'm very familiar with how that works. So you almost didn't have an option, um, and you would probably be exiled if you decided to deviate. Right? That's how
Correct.
they get down.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So you were it was like that's how it was going down. So yeah, your values are going to be absolutely different. It's a lot more family oriented. Even the trips and everything, it's like family, and then there's family on family, right? Like your whole church is, and it is your extended family. It's a lot of fellowship that goes on. So you were brought up with prioritizing family. So
Trev, that
I
don't
get that.
matter though. It's a lot of
What
women
doesn't
who
matter
grow
for
up in the
what?
church and a lot of women who grow up in that environment, but that doesn't necessarily dictate, how they behave, once they become adults.
Yeah, Sexy Red
Uh,
definitely was
A lot of
J-Dub.
them.
No, we dig it, but are we doing that again? Are we gonna start going in on the outliers and not and
No,
right to try
I'm
to
not
make
sure if it's the
the
outlier,
exception
Trev.
the rule? So
I don't know.
you think that most women who are raised in a family setting and have both parents are more likely to deviate from that lifestyle? Is that what you're trying to say here today?
That's not what I said, my brother.
All right, go
I
ahead.
said grow up in the
Clean it
church.
up.
I said
In the
women who
church,
grow up in the church and like who grow
in
up
the
in religious.
church.
Yeah.
How much time have you spent in the church, and what denomination was it?
Oh, I'm one of them fake black people. I grew up. My mom only took me to church on Easter.
Ain't nobody got
All
time
right,
for
so
that.
I'm very familiar with church, right? I
They are.
pretty much grew up in a church, acolyte, this and that, treasurer. Okay, so I'm very familiar with it. And while there are absolutely some joints you could bust it open with, that's not the norm, right? That's not the
What?
norm. That whole reverend's daughter type thing is sensationalized. That's not very accurate. If you know enough of them, then you know it's a stereotype. So
How well do you think do you know them, or do you think you know them?
come on, bro.
No, I'm serious.
Don't do that.
Like how many of
Don't do
the
that.
people you
Trev,
went to
I
Don't
church
do
with?
love
Did
that.
you go to
you, but
school
the
with? Did you?
church be thought boxing.
I'm
It
no,
Look,
and that's a genuine
I'm
so
question.
sorry. Even the pastor's
so
sons,
you're trying
it
to
goes
say, well,
down in the
no, I ain't
church.
saying nothing about the sons. I was talking about the
The
daughters.
morals and values
I
inside of a
wasn't
church.
talking about the sons.
But it was a
Oh, look,
genuine question,
we're
Trev. Like so, for
go ahead.
example,
When
like
I know a man goes to church, I run.
so how many of those people, how many of those women,
I'd be like, hell
how many
nah.
of those women that you went to church with did you know well enough to say that, yo, I know what she was doing, and she like at most of the time, and she was in her
Come on,
house with her
I
dad.
don't stalk nobody, so you can never go, but you never know anything about any particular woman, right? It would be any of the basis that I make would be just as valid as the ones that you saying are thoughting it up, right?
If
And unless you slayed them all, then you can't really come
Well,
up with a proper
I'm not
thesis
being
either.
I'm not being that matter of factly. Like whatever you said, I would have took you at your word, because I just it's all about being reasonable and sensible. So if you
Yeah.
reasonably was around somebody for enough time to be like, yo, I know she wasn't like that, I would have took you for your word.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because again, there's the fellowship thing, right? Where you go on trips in spaces where adult supervision might be limited. So you can have a pretty good idea as to who's with the shits and who's not. You know what
if
I
you
mean? It
look at
wouldn't
it,
be like go ahead.
if you're looking at a church, man, you just assume that all of the women in there are dick eating demons. Because you got to remember, bro, a hoe's final form is a religious woman. So the majority of women in the church, you know what I'm saying, they go to church because they want a moral do-over. They don't give a shit about God or his son. They just want to go to church because they know they can find something to believe in that'll make them feel better about how they wasted their life, took all them different miles of dick, and now they have somebody who's going to forgive them. So they try to give God the leftovers, and then he takes what he wants from them, and then they try to go give the rest to another man to marry him.
My premise was a woman who grew up in the church, not newfound Christians or newfound versions or any of that. I was just talking about women who grew up in the church, and DJ is pretty much
Yeah, he's talking about. I think he's talking about just
Girls who grew up
the
in it,
people
we
who
all know. I think
But what I'm saying
we all know
is
girls that came up in the church. They were again just
after church. Yeah.
Bible educated dick eating demons, or maybe dick
how
eating
many
angels.
and no, I get all that, but what I was saying is that I'm familiar with how JWs get down, and you either with the shits or you're gonna be exiled. That's just pretty much what I'm saying. And I'm not saying that they don't have any hoes, but what I'm saying is that it decreases the likelihood of it. Females who are growing up in that environment, and I don't think
Wait,
DJ would disagree with
Based
that.
on condemnation, they just fear. It's very highly fear based in the congregation of Kingdom Hall.
Well, the
do y'all
reason
remember the
the
scandal
reason
that just happened with the girl talking about? Y'all remember none of that?
What's
You
kind
was
talking
saying
about
nothing,
TD
Marcus.
Jake's daughter?
Not that
Yeah,
one.
what
The other.
what denomination is that? I'm talking about a specific
501c3
denomination.
church.
I'm talking about a
No,
specific. I know
the
TD
dude
Jakes
ain't
is like ain't he
y'all remember
Baptist?
what
Ain't TD
y'all
Jakes
No,
remember
he's
Baptist?
501c3,
y'all
Okay,
non-denominational.
y'all
non-denominational.
remember
Gotcha. So I
y'all
was talking
y'all
about a
remember when
specific denomination.
y'all remember when Ace and Keita was going at it. Did y'all watch that series?
I don't know
It
what you're
was
talking about.
Lapeef.
No, from tonight's conversation, the
Ace and
series.
oh yeah, we ain't, it was too.
I didn't see it.
She was a little
Oh, okay.
animated.
Well, allegedly, she said, just go look it up. I'm not about to put that on them people. I'm not gonna put
Hey, put it in the chat, bro.
You put in the chat. Yo, Trev, the reason that I said that, right? We don't
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I would never try. I wouldn't even ask La Bonita to tell me about the things she's done in her life or whatever. But it seems like you were saying that, oh, La Bonita, you grew up in the church. I get it. You're a different type of woman. Or you grew up,
Not a
Jehovah
church, a
Witness.
specific type of church.
Got you, Jehovah Witness. You're a
Kingdom
different
Hall.
type of woman. I was just saying that we're not sure or positive that what she did when she became an adult and what she decided to do when she became an adult. And I wouldn't
No,
ask
that's
you, and I
fair.
don't want
That's
you to
fair.
answer either. I don't want her to answer. I don't. That's her. Whatever.
Yes, you do.
I
But
don't
that's fair.
because I don't want her to answer because if we're being honest, I wouldn't believe what she says unless she says that
Oh,
she was doing
damn.
something, which isn't fair.
He
That's
don't
not
believe
fair.
nobody. Everybody's a liar to him.
Yeah, and it's not fair for me to ask you that if I'm not going to believe you anyway. If you like, yo, I was
She's not
an
even
angel.
showing her face now, so we could at least I think she's telling the truth. I mean, she could lie.
Lavanita, were you always an angel? Since I mean, not have you always operated how you supposed to as a Jehovah Witness?
Actually, 100%. And it has nothing to
See,
do
I
with
don't see.
Jehovah's
It wasn't fair
Witness.
for me to ask that. I don't believe her.
Yeah, no. Like, my character has always been consistent all my life, who I am. I don't think if I was raised in a Christian church with Creflo Dollar, or whether it was Kingdom Hall or Baptist with him or TD Jakes or Joel Osteen, I think honestly, I have a character of my grandmother, my great aunt, my other aunt. I am built based on how I was raised and around the people. I act a lot like my stepdaddy. I act a lot like my real daddy. My character has always been on point.
Do
And I
Jehovah
don't have
Witness?
a criminal drug lord ratchet upbringing with family. So
Do
I just came
Jehovah?
from a regular family where we don't have that kind of drama. I wasn't around drugs. Never
Gotcha.
did drugs in my life. Never did none of that shit.
Do
I don't
Jehovah Witness?
immunize my kids. I
Yeah.
just naturally a child of God, and I just
Okay.
love life.
Question: Do Jehovah Witness believe in marriage?
Do they believe in marriage?
Like, do they believe that two people are supposed, man and woman, supposed to get married and then have kids? And
Yeah.
do you believe in marriage right now? Do you believe that's what we
Yes.
should be? That's what we supposed to be doing?
I'm not a Jehovah's Witness anymore. But yes, I believe in that marriage.
But
Yes, I do.
you no longer believe in the things you used to believe in necessarily.
What do you mean that I used to believe in? I still follow the
The
trend
Jehovah,
of no holidays.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
100%.
if you met a guy right now, y'all would get married before y'all got physical. If you like that man,
If I like him, yeah.
I see. That's why it's not fair for me to ask you these things. I don't believe you based on conversations that I've heard before. So it's like not fair for me to ask you something. I ain't even gonna believe your answer.
You wouldn't believe that I would get married?
I don't believe that you would require marriage before you get physical right now at this point in your life, based on
Oh, you're
conversations.
asking physical. You're asking
Yeah,
sex.
physical stuff like that.
Well, no, I'm not a virgin.
But you believe
And
in
but I believe in what?
I just asked you a question and you said that you pretty much believe in everything that you learned through being a Jehovah Witness.
No, I didn't say that.
I'm sorry. I thought I asked you that.
No, because you're specifically trying to ask something and you're talking about sex before marriage. That's different. But I said I still follow a lot of what I believed, but I am not a Jehovah's Witness.
So you only follow some of it, but part of it you don't believe in anymore.
Correct.
Okay, because that's what I was asking of, like, after you've grown up, now you like, yo, I don't rock with the things that I've used to rock with.
Well, I don't say that out of my mouth. I don't have to say that. I did what I was supposed to do, which is got married, lost my virginity, had kids, divorced,
and there it is.
Okay, yeah.
Like,
My
I
line of
don't have
questioning
to
was,
say, oh, I am not a Jehovah's Witness. I will save my body until I meet a man that I want to marry. God, no.
yeah, the only point I was making was that,
If that was the case, I'd be a Jehovah's Witness.
yeah, the
I
only
don't
point
believe in being condemned. I don't believe in religion no longer.
exactly. So the only point that I was making to Trev was that when people become adults, they can completely distance themselves of everything they've ever been taught growing up, because what you just
Well, I
expressed in the
wouldn't
last 10
say I
seconds.
would no. I wouldn't say that I would tread lightly because you're not a child that was raised under a congregation. So I still have respect, like I said. So I still raise my children without holidays and other values that I learned from being raised under the Kingdom Hall. It's not a church. And so based on that, that builds character for me. So I'm big on the character that it brought. But what I'm saying is I would tread lightly because we're not distancing. We get aware, we grow, we get
So
educated. So when you're a child, you're bound because you are raised. You're boxed in. When you get older, you actually can grow. So even when I was married, my ex-husband was a Christian. So then guess what? I went to Christian churches with him. That's when I disfellowshipped. So when
okay.
I started learning the Christian way, then there's a difference. So we grow. It doesn't mean you distance yourself.
Well,
If that makes sense.
It's like that.
So it's
Learning.
not like you're not mad at it, but
Yeah.
unless you, so what he's saying in the sense of foundation of a child growing to teenager to woman, the order, you don't leave the order when you're bound in that order. You don't leave that order. The only time you leave is if you marry a Muslim or you marry a Christian or you marry
Yeah.
something outside of Kingdom
Yeah.
Hall. But if you marry a Jehovah's Witness, then you stuck a Jehovah's Witness.
Okay, because I guess my argument was to Trev was that um modern woman, to me at least, is you can be raised with inside of the church and Jehovah Witness and whatever they do, but once you become an adult, the modern woman typically distances herself. I don't want to use that word. You don't like that word. A modern woman typically starts to learn things and take a piece of this, take a piece of that, take a piece of this, and they're no longer necessarily uh using one doctrine to decide how they want to live their lives. It's just like, oh, I've had experiences and I've learned and
No,
I believe in this now.
no, I'm the rebel. So no, that's not true because I have family to this day that are bound by Jehovah's Witness, point blank. There's they are generally like that. So when he's talking about JW, they are very solid, like Catholic. Like they're very
It's a
solid. That
lifestyle.
it's a
It's a
lifestyle.
lifestyle.
It's not you just grow out of it and become something. Me, I'm just a rebel. I went and married a Christian. I didn't give a damn. I married a nigga from Kentucky.
You see how some
So
people, like, if we were to
he
say
was
Jewish people,
not
like,
a Jehovah's. His mama hated. She said, "Don't come in my house as no Jehovah Witness." So when I came to the South, it was a lot different. But no, definitely not. Like Jehovah's. If you meet a Jehovah's Witness, she's very. You can meet one right now. That's 30. I know one right now. She's 33 years old. Still never has sex. Still never nothing. And she's nothing. She don't have social media at all. Beautiful. She just don't have a husband yet.
you
I
know how
would
certain religions
I,
we take
yeah.
seriously, like when you look at me like, oh, okay, like you one of them, and you know it's a lifestyle, and you know there's certain characteristics. Like if you're talking about, say you were to say, all right, this is a person of the Muslim faith, this one's of the Catholic faith, this one's Jewish. You know, there's certain things that you would expect, right? There's always
Right.
outliers, but certain characteristics that you just realize they're probably gonna do, certain behaviors, certain principles. You're like, all right, I know what's up with them. And it's the same thing.
I'm gonna ask you a question, Trev. Based on this whole topic, how many women who grew up in a church you think are a virgin until they're married?
Percentage wise, which
Just which
denomination? Because it's different. It varies. Which denomination?
Baptist?
Baptist, probably like What age? What age you talking about?
Zero.
A version until they get married. Like how many?
Oh, until they get married?
Yeah, how many
Ugh.
do you think?
Zero.
Probably about 15%.
That's all I'm talking about. That's literally all I'm talking about. Yeah.
But we weren't talking about Baptist though, per se.
True, you were talking about Jehovah's Witness. I'm not
Right.
familiar. I'm not too
Because the
familiar with
percentage I
them.
would say is at least double that.
Okay, at
Yeah.
least 30%.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they.
That's
I
still low.
mean, I don't want to have church on
It
here,
is,
but
but we in 2025, right? We're talking about modern women. So if I could say if 1 out of 3, I feel good about that. You know what I'm saying? If
Okay.
I could say 1 out of 3, I think about that. If you had those odds in your favor and you knew you had access to all JWs, like damn, 1 out of 3 you was good. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You feel good about it because you know you could get one of them 1 out of 3 versus it being like a 5% or 1 or 3%, something crazy like when we're talking about in totality.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess my point was when you was referencing that was that most, at least the majority of women, I believe, to not be living by the standards of like, okay, this girl grew up in the church. We know that we can pretty much say that she's a good girl, or she hasn't been dabbling in and all that type of stuff. I guess that was my main point.
Yeah,
Is that
and the only reason why I said that it's more serious with that is because it's actually enforced. Like that's the difference. It's enforced. It's like certain
Yeah.
religions you just don't play around with because it's enforced. You know how we always say we should hold each other accountable. They absolutely hold each other accountable.
Okay, but that 30% still aligns with my. I mean, I'm sorry. Yeah, that 30%
Yeah,
still aligns
because
with
they
my.
choose to say, you know what, I'm exiled. Just like Mormons, they got the same, or like the Amish. You know certain things that they're gonna do, right? You already know. You're gonna see them at the. I don't want to sound stereotypical, but you're gonna see them at the flea markets. You're gonna see them riding horses and having their own communities and all that. You know what certain things they're gonna do, and at a certain age, right around their beginning of their adulthood, they give them the opportunity to say, "Look, do you want to get up? Do you want to see what the world is like? Whatever," and they could do that and be out. So it's just one of them things where if you decide that that's the path you want to take, then you can go. Nobody's going to hold you here, but you can't be a part of what it is that we represent if you're going to conduct yourself in that manner.
Gotcha.
And the only reason I when I was 22, I think, I married him at 19. So I lost my virginity, married him. The only reason why I left him, I stayed for a while because the Kingdom Hall actually was funny. I had a real messed up mind on Jehovah's Witness because he had made 2 babies while I was married to him. He was in the Air Force. And so to the point, real dope daddy, like, yeah, that's still my core. So if anything happened, I went back to the elders to talk to them because I didn't want to walk away. Like, who walks away from getting married? Like, if you get married that young, you kind of like want to be married, right? And so when he had a first baby, I went back to the elders and they're like, don't leave him. So I didn't. Second baby came when he went to war. He was in Iraq. I think no, he was in Turkey or Qatar. I can't remember. Turkey or Qatar. He made the baby with the staff, a military girl. Overseas. He was gone like 4 months. I find that out after he got back. He had her pregnant. So he had 2 babies, and my baby was in between. Like, it was weird. It was like my baby, that new baby, my baby, that new baby, that baby. So he kept having babies every time he went overseas. And so I kept asking the elders, and they would just stay, just stay. I would cry, it would hurt, but because I was told to stay, I'm so bound by religion when I was young, it made me stay. So I
Gotcha.
stayed. And so I thought, even in life, don't, if a man does anything like that, don't leave him, you know? So that was my mind for, I mean, I'm telling you, it took me to be 36 where a guy told me, he's like, nah, baby girl, value you. If a nigga cheats on you, leave. And I was just like, wait, leave? Women leave? Like, I was literally 36 when I had to really have that talk with a man to tell me, like, nah, like, a real man wouldn't do you like that and da 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 da, you know. But I'm just saying, outside of the
We
elders
got him
talking.
white face.
talking to
I think I
elders.
think I think it's very different cheating versus having a baby on you, and not just not to condone cheating, but I think there's levels to it, right? So I think
Yeah.
having multiple babies on you is like
Yeah, too.
crazy.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
to say that to say the reason I divorced him, so I didn't leave him for having babies on me. So a lot of times when I'm talking to somebody and they hear that, like, oh, you left him for that. No, I did not. Never did. Never held it against him or anything. The time that I left him was I was pregnant with my 18 now year old, and he put his hand on my throat because the girl that was last pregnant called the house, and then I found out who the girl was. So I packed a bag to try to go to my mother's house, and he wasn't having that. And I was already 6.5 months pregnant, and he put his hand on my throat and put me on the wall. And I told him, if he don't let my throat go, I promise him that I'm calling my congregation, I'm calling all the elders, and I'm calling my dad. And my dad will probably kill you if you don't get your hands off my neck while I'm pregnant. And I said, and I will divorce you, and I will never talk to you again in my life. And then he did not. He picked me up higher when I was pregnant, squeezed my throat tighter. It was done. He's never put his hands on me. He's never been abusive. That was the first time. He was scared and fear that I was leaving him. And I wasn't. I just needed a break. I needed to go home to my mother because I found out who it was. It was his very first. He took her virginity and he should have married her, not me. But again, yeah. So he put his hands on my throat. That's why I divorced him, point blank. It wasn't having it. Never had an abusive. uh, The congregation approved that you don't do that. So that's what I'm aware of. No mental, physical abuse at all. Any of that, you can leave. So I was like, "Ooh, I can go, yay!" So yeah, it wasn't because of the babies.
I got a
You know
question.
what would have
Oh,
prevented
go ahead,
all
go
of
ahead.
this? Oh, never mind.
Polygamy.
Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
Bring them
Would
all
have.
in the house.
Yeah, it would have. It would have prevented this
I
whole
would not
scenario.
expect nothing else from you, M. White.
All right,
Okay.
DJ, question, DJ.
What's up?
So right now you don't want no, you're not with the cheating stuff, right? At this point in your
That's
life.
not a focus to me. I'm not a cheater, but I'm not. That's not it's never been a focus in my life. Even though he did that, I don't
Yeah,
bring that into it. It's just not my character. I don't
yeah.
care about all that. I
Just
don't ask those questions.
for right now, just if you had to pick one, like if you say, like, yo, the man that I date right now, I don't want a man that's going to cheat on me, or I'm okay with it. If you had to pick one,
I mean, if I had to pick one,
if you had to pick one,
I don't know. I don't care. I'm not. I don't
Nope,
know.
I don't care.
Yeah, I just don't care. Like,
Oh,
if we good, if the connection with me and you is good and we good, I'm good to you. So,
okay. I mean that's thorough. I fuck with that. But all right, let me ask you a
yeah, I
question then.
mean,
If you
no,
had to choose, right, between, let's say a man, he do his thing here, right? He cheat on you and he just, go deal with the women here, and he come back to you, he cool, he come back to the house, he cool, he don't get no STDs, no kids, nothing like that. So you had to choose either that, right? He pretty much do what he want, or he go overseas every like twice a year and he finds a wife in like Indonesia. Got a wife in Indonesia and a kid. He sent like $200 a month, right? But he just take a trip for a week, 2 times a year. He come back. You don't talk about it. Don't hear nothing about it. Which one would you prefer?
I'll be by myself.
You gotta. If you had to
I'm
pick one,
good.
like which one is
Yeah, I'm
better?
good. That's
He
too
take
much
it.
activity. I don't like active men, so that character wouldn't align with
No,
me.
but the Indonesian woman, that's just one woman. He not cheating. He not doing a bunch. He
I
just
yeah, that's still too act like no. I'm gonna go overseas with you. So what are we doing?
Do y'all
No,
feel like this? Like we just kind of got two different people in the last 5 minutes?
no,
Because at
you
first I'm
didn't.
like, oh, you don't give a fuck. He can do. He chilling as long as you got
No,
your
I never
man.
said I didn't give a fuck about nothing. That didn't come out of my mouth. That's what you're
I
saying.
didn't. I didn't say you said it. I'm just saying your energy
No,
was
you
like,
made me choose if I care if he had sex with somebody else. Now me, we say, would you take that or a non-cheater?
no.
And I
At
said,
first,
personally, because I'm an adult and I can't control nobody, no matter what you say you are to me, you're still going to do what you want to do anyway. So if there's no problem with me and you, then I don't care if you do that because I'm not giving you a pass to do that, but I'm choosing a character of a person that I would think you would treat yourself good. So if that other connection treats you good and you safe over there, and I don't know nothing about it, I don't that ain't, what I'm a trip with you for? Like
I'm
I don't
grown,
care.
so I'm not here. We're not kids. You're not my daddy. I'm not your mama. Like, I can't tell you what to do. You're grown.
If you got a man, he like your daddy.
That's why I said I don't cheat. I don't do anything.
No, I'm saying like if you have a man, he's basically like everything that you think your father is. He
No,
is.
I have a daddy, but you be dope daddy to your woman. I have a
I'm used.
daddy.
What's the difference
I
between your
have a
man? And
father and I have a daddy. So
what's the difference?
you use that childish verbiage. You let girls call you daddy. Have fun with that.
What's the
What's
difference
up,
between?
Poppy?
What's the difference between your dad and your
JR, what's up, Poppy?
She want to get all. She,
I
she
got
want
a
to get all this
daddy and
stuff.
I got a father, sir. I don't
What's the
use that
difference
childish
between
verbiage.
if you
Hey,
get
real
if
though.
you go and get married? What's the difference between your man and your dad? Tell me the difference.
The difference between my man and my dad.
Tell me the difference.
My dad is my bloodline.
Okay, that's one thing.
That's enough.
That's it. That's all.
I'm a
That's my
product of
point.
my father. I'm not a product of a man.
Why are you not a product of a man?
Because
If you already said
because
earlier,
he didn't create me.
you already said earlier that if you get a man, you want whatever his program is.
His program is still him not creating me.
Well, he didn't create you, but you become a product of him because
No, I'm not a product of him. I'm not gonna pick up his traits. I'm not gonna my father was a DJ. I'm a DJ.
that's different. That's not a thing. That's you chose to be a
Is it
DJ.
different?
Yeah, you just chose to be a DJ. A lot of people don't do what their parents did.
My dad actually, a lot of people actually do what their parents did.
So the one to do
A
the
lot of
two
people
differences.
actually do what their parents did at one
Okay,
point or another.
most people don't. But all right, so two differences, right, between your dad and
Give me that give me those statistics.
okay, cool. So two differences between your father and your husband are
Thank you,
that
AP.
you're a product of your father and that you have the same blood. Those are the only two things.
My father is not the man I would date, sir.
Yeah, they're two different human beings. Is that one of your three things that
Why
they're
are
two
you
different
trying
human
to
beings?
correlate my father and a man that I would marry?
I just let's be intellectuals for a second and let's just
No,
do the
that's not
exercise.
intellectual to me. What are you asking that question for? Be that
Okay,
intellectual.
I'll let you
Real
know
though.
because
If
your
you had a,
father and your
what are
husband
you talking
are
about?
pretty much the same people outside of you not being romantic with your father and you coming from his balls. Everything, every other thing besides that, your man will assume all of those tasks and become responsible for you, like your father, which means that
Who
you
said
should
my dad is
respect him
responsible
more
for
than your
me?
father. Honestly, if we talk,
Who said my father's responsible for me?
he's your dad. He is,
Is he?
and you grew up Jehovah's Witness.
Is he?
Yeah, your dad.
But real though, you don't be listening. She already said that she look out for her stepdad now, so that means she's responsible for him. And then she said something else that you should have caught and left this line of questioning
He don't
alone.
listen to shit.
What she say?
I got a daddy. Shout out to, and then she said
And a
somebody.
father.
And you just grazed
Well,
over.
she
Then she said who the person she calling.
Poppy.
Yeah.
Your man is
And
like your
who
father.
I call Poppy with is not my father.
I just want my point to be made that
No,
your
you just
man.
want somebody to be. You think you somebody daddy, so you stay being
I'm not your
these little
father,
girls'
but
daddies.
somebody's your father outside of your father.
She already said that. And she
What is
told us
wrong
who
with
like 5 minutes ago, bro.
I want to make sure daddy and father are being used the same way.
Oh
That's all. If we can,
Go tell your wife to use those words the same way.
She said it last week.
Good. Well, control what's over there, not over here, baby.
Your man is like your father.
Control what's over there, not over here, sweetheart.
Don't listen. If he feel like he not, then you may be embarrassing him.
I don't think a man boy would have that mindset. I don't think a grown man would want to be in the mindset of thinking he's my daddy.
He's not your dad. He's very similar to your dad. The closest thing to your father on this planet.
I think a man that I would come across would not again want to be my daddy. He would be a father to his children.
If he a real one, he understands that he's the closest thing to a dad that you have outside of your dad.
I digress.
I'm trying to let you know something. Put you on something.
Where's Viz?
Biz been gone. And
Oh,
AP said, "Where's
I
King
see
Talk?"
his
Come
art,
on,
and that's it.
man. Let's get these super chats out of here. Brother Noom, $5 super sticker. Miss Naomi, official Mommy G, also member for 99. Hit the like button. Brother again, $3 with the super sticker. Thank you. Articulated alerts 199. Thank you. Brother again with the 149 super sticker. Prophecy to Save at $10. Also, a member says, want to say it's crazy how tonight this panel is calm. We can hear everyone, and panelists are able to stay on topic. If only we can replicate this on Thursdays. The energy, I'm here for it. Prophecy. Also, a member $10 says, JR, real quick. Are we able to replicate this type of decorum and discussions on Thursday? I just can't put my finger on why the energy is so different on Thursday. Do anyone know why?
Is he being funny?
Nah,
That's satire.
Okay.
brother with the 99-cent super sticker. Brother again with the 99-cent super sticker. Prophecy to Save also been $5 says we're gonna turn into people of Wall E in a few generations.
Wally.
Oh, Wally, what is it?
It's a robot movie where everybody turns fat in the
Yeah,
future.
Disney or something like that.
DJ with the $10 says appreciate being added to King Talk JR. Welcome. Prophecy to Save $5 also remember y'all can't be serious. There will never be an exact copy of you. Even twins are not exact copies. Come on, Viz. I know you're trolling. Prophecy again, $10 says while clones share the same DNA and genetically identical, differences in their environment and the way their genes are expressed can lead to variations in their physical characteristics. Prophecy again, $10 also remember identical twins are natural clones. They have the same DNA, but can still have slight differences in appearance and personality due to environmental factors and the way genes are expressed. Prophecy, save your $5. Also remember, immorality is a curse. And lastly, official Mommy G. Also remember 499. Hit the like button. Thank you. I want to thank everybody that's contributed to the platform.
Yep.
Do me a favor, hit the like button, and also make sure you subscribe to the channel on the way out. We are live tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday. We're live tomorrow. So make sure you guys tune in, same time. And we will catch you guys later. Make sure y'all support everybody on the panel as well. Let's support each other. We out.